everybody. To be discussing tonight the historical league. I'm hoping it'll be a good podcast.
I've got to stop you there. Oh, hey, oh, who's this interloping motherfucker?
Did he say historical?
I know, what a twat.
Who the fuck
Gaz,
are you?
we bring you in to replace Sheffield, and you don't even last 10 seconds.
To be fair, Sheffield can't
Standard.
last 10 seconds either.
Well, that's
10
what his
seconds
missus
is a
says.
luxury.
Sorry, Chef, we love you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of the Juggernaut Bolt Action Podcast. We've lost Sheffield again. That man needs to be kept on a leash. But instead, we got Gaz. Hi, Gaz.
He's kept on a leash.
Bring out the gimp.
Anyway, how are we all, gentlemen?
Oh, dandy, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Are you all ready for a podcasting sensation this evening?
Oh, I thought we were here to watch you wank.
Well, here's how ready I am.
Oh,
Nice.
that's him undoing his...
That is my can of Copperberg pear.
Hang on a minute.
Ready to go.
Other ciders are available.
Whatever. They don't taste as
I mean,
good.
they're not as good, yeah.
Yeah, they just don't taste as good.
Yeah.
Oh, I
To
don't
be
know.
fair, Record Lick wasn't bad. And when I was in Cyprus, it was like 4 cans. It was pretty good shit.
Nah, I can confirm Record League's a good second best.
Yeah.
But last time I went on a night out, they had Copperberg on tap.
And then
They
it did
started doing
fantastic.
that.
It was some good shit. It's like, can I have a pint of Copperberg? £2.50. Yeah, man, that'll do me. Boom. I got pretty smashed.
Was that really the last time you were out?
Pete, I'm an old man. It was only like 2 months ago.
How old
I've
are
been
you?
out at least 4 times since
I
then.
mean, I'm not going. There's going out and then there's going out. I'm not going. I don't go out.
Out.
I've been out.
Once.
Dan, you're old men. Back me up.
I am an old man, yeah. So
I can confirm that
you just
I don't
go out
look it.
much.
You look like 12, don't you, Gaz?
Do? Yes. My youthful complexion.
He looks like when a kid puts on the parents' clothes. Oh, he's
sorry,
playing
dude.
daddy.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like to buy some of your finest alcohol.
Why are you
And
always
some
putting on your
crisps.
mum's knickers? You can just
Stash.
you can just put on your dad's shoes. It'd be so much easier.
I can
Nice.
confirm his mum's knickers are better.
Smells good, at least.
You know we are supposed to be a bolt action podcast, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Let's get back to bolt action. Bolt action. Think what we've been doing bolt action for the last month. What have we been up to?
Oh,
We had a-
I've changed armies about 10 times for your tournament.
Oh, for
Only
fuck's
10?
sake. Gaz has made a hobby out of submitting army lists.
Literally every day.
He's submitted about one list a day for the past 2 weeks going, I don't know whether I'm going to get it ready or not. It's like, mate, if you just fucking painted it rather than kept submitting lists, you'd have had time to paint it. And you submit the
New
list.
projects on the go.
You submitted the list for the weekend at the specific time, and you still emailed me after the deadline going, can I change it?
So, do you ever think that Gaz would actually win a painting award if he spent his time on one list?
I reckon that's what the problem is, mate.
Damn.
What do you have to answer yourself, mate? Everyone else is sticking to the rules, Gaz. They have their list submitted on time. Why do you
One
get special
person just
treatment?
saying, what?
Okay, there's one person. Otherwise, hasn't got a list. But he's just as wrong as you are. Don't try and sidestep this.
To be fair, I did submit the list like 4 months ago.
Which one?
Can't remember that far back.
Fucking useless.
So we went to the British Bolt Action League round 2 last week.
Yeah, it was good fun.
That was a lot of fun. We're not going to do a full review of it though, because I think it'd be identical to the BBL round 2, round 1 even.
Yeah. See scores from episode 7
Was it
or
7?
8.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was only a few months ago, wasn't
I
it?
don't know,
So
yeah.
7 or 8.
Everything was the same except it was in Element Games in Stockport rather than Warlord.
Sorry,
Games.
listeners.
Yeah,
I didn't win
think-
this one. I'm sorry.
Pete didn't win
Yeah,
this one.
No,
Dan, you won a thing.
I did win a thing again. It was good.
Again, get
Again.
bored of it, are you?
It's just good to
Get
beat
free
Toast
entry.
Polish.
To be fair, we made you work harder for this one.
You did. Game 2 against Pete was a shitstorm in a teacup.
You had to.
It
You
was
had to play nothing
very
but
hard.
Juggernauts that whole tournament, though, didn't you, Dan? To be fair,
I
So
did.
You
I
earned your
played
place
Juggernaut
points.
DJ, Then that win earned me a place against Juggernaut Pete, and then I was facing some chucklefucker in the final.
Hello.
Oh.
My arse still hurts after that one. That was not a nice experience for me.
No, it was
It's
not.
like, here's all of my cavalry, and there's all of Dan's infantry in cover, and there's open sights. Oh, and he's going on ambush. Oh.
I almost felt bad, but then I remembered really don't give a fuck, and then it all went away.
Yeah. So, not much to say about that other than we all went to BBL 2 and it was fun, and BBL 3 in Cardiff is in September?
Yeah,
Or is it October? Which one is it?
I think it's end of
September.
September, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
the last of game, so we'll be there as well, hopefully. And Gaz, you better fucking turn up.
I'm working, unfortunately, because one of my other mates is trying to make me go. But I'm working the weekend. Yay.
If you're hoping to
you look
replace
terribly
Sheffield,
sick.
if you're hoping to replace Sheffield on this pod, you need to attend more than one tournament a year, and then
Hang
you
on a
automatically
second. How
qualify.
How many events has Chef been to?
One a year.
He just does Cambridge, and now that's finished, he's fucked.
The thing is, Gaz, if you're going to a job interview, you don't start the job interview going by saying, I'm just as shit as the guy you previously had.
You start with going, I'm less
You need to
shit.
step up and sell yourself, yeah.
I mean, Gaz does paint his models, and Sheffield don't, so.
That is true. Yeah, but Gaz has an airbrush, he cheats.
Well, I'm an airbrusher, I cheat as well.
Yeah, you cheat as well. If you have an airbrush, you're cheating. Official Juggernaut opinion there. If you have an airbrush, you're cheating.
If you don't have one, you're not doing it right.
That's
You mean, like, actually using skill?
it is skill with an airbrush, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to...
Savage start.
You got to somehow...
Let's not open that can of worms.
We'll save that for another rag later. Right. We got loads to cover this episode. I hope you guys are all ready for like number crunching.
Oh, I love data.
Your number crunching.
Well, technically, listeners and fans of the show number crunching because we've got all the lists submitted for Not One Step Back, and I have built a spreadsheet with like pivot tables and everything. It's brilliant.
You've been checked over by Pete.
No. I was specifically asked to not do it. So I'm, as somebody that works in data, I'm fucking looking forward to this.
So, for all those that care about the truth, skip now to, I don't know what, an hour and 30 minutes into the show when we've just rambled on with nonsense for the next bit.
Look. I've
Hang on, whoa. All we talk is nonsense. Don't let them go past it.
Right. Before we get to that, we're going to do What the Fact, then we're going to do some number crunching, then we're going to talk about some lists, and then we'll get on to Mr. Bluebee's Hobby Lobby, and then you can all fuck off because that'll be the end of the episode. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
What the fuck?
What a fact.
What the fuck? Fucking love this section. So we've had quite a lot from our loyal fan base, but we've had quite a lot coming back to us. And I'd just like to take this moment to tell off our fellow friend here, Topher, for being shocking, absolutely shocking with somebody's name. Dutch, really?
And sex.
Okay, his name was Kim. He messaged last month. We covered it in the last episode. He said his name was Kim, and he only spoke about his grandchildren. I assumed he was a female Dutch lady. It's not my fault that he was a male and Danish, and then told me that.
You didn't take the 2 seconds to put the surname into Google. It's Danish.
It just looked at his profile as well.
We live in a multicultural society. People can be anything. Don't judge people.
Yeah, so stop
His
calling
gender.
everybody Dutch, Toph.
Okay, I apologise. I'm not good at Facebook stalking. I've already personally apologised to Kim for calling him my grandma. What more do you want
That
from
was
me?
one of the private messages, though, wasn't it, when you were calling him mummy?
Yeah.
Oh no, mummy. Oh no, what are you going to do?
I wish my mum was as badass as a Danish granddad who teaches his kids bolt action. My mum is unfortunately not as cool.
No, it's Keir.
No, it's cute. So I'm sorry, Kim. Formally sorry for fucking everything up.
But what is very cool is he's actually playing the game with his grandson, and that is wicked.
2 grandsons.
Very, very cool.
So that was the first apologies. Secondly, we got an email. So this is a two-parter.
Not an email.
Yeah, email two-parter. So this is from a chap called Raymond. And the email says, "Hiya, I thought I'd write to let you know how much I'm enjoying the podcast. I only found it a week or so ago, and I'm up to episode 4.5 now. Why the fuck
Good
is it
man.
taking him? Why the fuck is it taking him this long, man? We've been out for like nearly 9 months now. You can make a baby in that time."
I understand that he's only listened to about 4 episodes in that time because each one is about half a day long.
That's fine. Goes on. "You lot are keeping me company on my daily commute up and down the M6 every day. Fuck me, I hate the M6.
Yeah.
The M6 should die in a fire.
It should die in a fight. The whole motorway, just get rid.
Yeah.
We don't need it. Who needs the M6?
No
Birmingham
one.
people
There
don't
you
use
go.
it. Yeah, if you live in Birmingham, you know not to bother using it. So what's the point?
There you go, Boris Johnson. Free policy for you. Burn the M6.
Or at that, the M25.
Ooh.
That's a car park, not a motorway.
Right, coming with the Juggernaut Motorway podcast. Anyway, so Raymond says, "I'm very much a beginner at Bolt Action. I haven't played a single game ever, as I can struggle socially. However, I really like painting the figures, so that keeps me busy. Your take on competitive play has got me enthusiastic for a game, though. You know, go to my local club, talk to real people, scary, show them my models, very scary, and see if someone actually fancies showing an old fart how to play. All in all, it's a big thing for me to even think about, and it's really is the Jugger spirit that has got me enthusiastic to give things a proper go, so thanks for that." Now that is amazing because I understand, you know, it's all good as sitting here going, "Oh yeah, I go to club every week and roll dice," but you know what? Actually, going to meet strangers is scary, and having people like judge things you've created is scary. So if you're not particularly good socially, getting yourself and putting yourself out there is a really big step.
Huge step.
I
Being
think
able to facilitate that, I think I'm really proud of that. To be fair, as a podcast, that we're able to help people out there.
Yeah, I think one of the strengths of this community, and I don't mean the Bolt Action community, I just mean the tabletop gaming community as a whole, is I think a lot of people take refuge in this sort of community because they do have others like them in it. So we all know someone like this. We all know someone that struggles to interact with people or feels nervous being around people all the time. So Raymond, you're not alone, mate, and trust me, everyone will understand. And the best thing you can do is take that initial plunge, and then you realise that it's not actually that bad out there, and we're not just a pool of sharks waiting to, you know, shit on everything you're wanting to do.
Unless your name's Dan.
Yeah, we've all had that first step though, haven't we? Like, it might have been a few years ago for us, but like there was that first step where I'm going to get into wargaming, I'm going to go to a club, I don't know anybody, I'm going to walk through the door and give it a go. And yeah, it's really scary, you know.
I also
especially-
think what's equally as scary is the first time you turn up at an event or tournament and you think, "Holy shit, I know nobody."
Well, one of my first experiences was, I mean, I started it when I was 12 and then quit almost straight away because I couldn't be asked. And then I started Warhammer 40k again when I was like 18, and I started working at a school. And I had the same sort of situation where I walked past one of the classes at the end of the day, and all of these kids were playing Warhammer. I was like, "Oh, I recognise that." And I had to kind of build up the courage to just walk in there and go and ask what they were doing again to try and get myself introduced, because I thought it'd be something I'd be interested in again. And it took me a couple of weeks to do it, but I did it, and then that's it. I've never looked back now.
I think it's becoming a bit more socially acceptable nowadays to be a nerd, if you know what I mean. I mean, things like for adults especially has really helped to bring out nerd as a, you know, an acceptable thing. Because not them saying that fucking geek, but and you've had to hide it. You know what I mean?
Here.
I've always had to have that thing of hiding it until you realise. I think I came to the conclusion, just went, you know what, fuck it, I don't care. I love this. That's it now. And as said, there's a lot of things making it more socially acceptable. Gaming in general seems to be now.
Yeah, you know, football fans don't hide the fact that they're football fans. They don't hide the facts about which teams and stuff they support. So you shouldn't be ashamed of what you do. If it's something in life, not just hobbying, if it's anything in life that makes you happy, then, you know, go do it. Fucking pursue what you want to do.
Except
Murder.
Except murder, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's, you know, some orange-faced twat over in the States.
I mean,
Come at me, bro.
to be fair,
Is that a drone I hear?
UAV.
This email from Ray really brightened my day, because this is what it's all about. this is why we're doing a Bolt Action podcast. This is why we're like putting ourselves out there and trying to create some cool content because we're trying to grow the community. This is what matters, which is getting people to jump in and join in. So that was heartwarming. But that's only the part 1. I got a part 2.
Oh, more heartwarming. Do I need to get my?
This is where he calls you a twat.
So,
do I need to get my crying T-shirt?
So a few weeks later, Ray emailed again. Hi Turv, just thought I'd drop you a line to tell you how the game went. So it turns out he actually got himself up and went to a local club. So he went to Deeside Defenders in northeast Wales. So that's cool. He had played last night at the club with a 500-point list and had a blast. My opponent had a late war German list, mine was Desert Rats. And then he goes off and says all about how his game went. It sounds like he had a bit of a shit time because he got absolutely annihilated, but he had a lot of fun doing it. So after, I won't go through the rigmarole of who killed and shot what there. What did he learn? Shitloads. Most importantly, he needs to go over lots of rules again. We've already said that in this podcast, especially reserves, prep, bombardment. I'm not sure I played my spotters correctly either. It was a pity. I lost my tank so early on as I couldn't threaten him as I planned. It also meant that the half track and 222 were going to kill my 25-pounder. 25-pounder could only do so much. The 222 took full advantage of that, and once it killed my gun, there was no way back for me. So it sounds like, as a man with very little experience of actually playing, he lost.
But the biggest thing there is he has identified what he did wrong, and next time he will learn from that, and he won't do it again. And that's the biggest thing for your first few games.
From the horse's
Massive.
mouth. Next line. In a way, a lot of this doesn't matter. It was my very first game, and it was all about learning and getting to know game mechanics, and just enjoying the general experience. My opponent was an absolute pleasure to play, friendly and fun, and falling over himself to be helpful. We've got another game set up for the end of the month, and he's bringing his new Italians, so that should be fun.
And it should be an easy win for you, Raymond, because Italians are shit.
So there you go, my first game. I'm already thinking about next time and what changes to make. For the record, just the tip came in handy as I played my mortar as recommended, and it came off beautifully. So thanks for that too. Well done for also giving me the motivation for getting my fat ass out the door and having fun night rolling some dice. For which there we go. Brilliant.
Well, you just
90% of the battle.
Yeah. I masturbate to the happiness of listeners.
90% of the battle is getting out your front door. As soon as you're out your front door, you're in.
Yeah, I'm going to say with Pete there, the biggest win is getting out and doing it in the first place, let alone just not actually learning stuff, but that initial bit.
That reminds me, the first guy I played at the British Bolt Action League, it was his first ever game of Bolt Action.
Damn.
In at the deep end.
He'd only ever watched YouTube videos up to then, but he'd brought himself an army, watched YouTube, taught himself how to play, and went straight to the British Bolt Action League and played me first round. So obviously that was a bit of bad luck. For him.
Sorry about. I think his name was Gianni, wasn't it? Sorry about that, Gianni.
But the thing is, he said this is the best way to learn. We had a good game, and I was able to go take things a bit slower than I normally would do, and be like, here's how you play, here's some tips, here's what you might want to do here, and he had an absolute blast. And I think he went on and won best army actually as well, so he got an extra prize for it as well.
He did.
So there you go. It's all about just getting involved, man. Getting your name out there.
That's it. There's that old saying, isn't the longest journey start with journey of 1,000 whatever starts with a single step. I can't remember it, but
close enough.
Good quote.
Yeah. Like fucking Genghis. Mahatma Gandhi over here.
What?
What?
I don't know.
Are you Gandhi from Civ 5? Because I understand that.
No,
I'm racist.
Yeah, I know.
If any of us was going to go like nuke heavy, it'd probably be Dan.
Whoa! Just because I play Americans, don't stereotype me. I mean, I would, but Cool. So my one this week is from Andy Grayman, who sent us a message on Facebook, just saying that he started building his Soviet army. It's a bit slow going as he is obsessed with filing off mold lines rather than actually, completing other things. And he's saying, what kind of contributes to getting your guys built and getting you the enthusiasm for getting you through the initial batch painting of the 50 70 or 80 Soviets that you have to do to get onto the better things like the tanks where you can spend more time, the prize pieces that you want to paint for your army. And what do you guys think about having unpainted models at club? So we messaged him back the biggest thing for us is progress. That's why we've done Hobby Lobby. We don't care if you don't get a full army painted every month for club, or if you go into a tournament or anything like that. As long as you're making progress. If you bring an unpainted army to your first week at club, and then the second week it's all base coated, and you've maybe put a color on a couple of models, that is progress, and that's what people want to see. They don't expect you to get it all done in one hit, unless you're Gaz and you cheat with an airbrush. But as long as you're getting towards that final goal, that's what makes it good. If you keep turning up week after week after week with the same unpainted models, people aren't going to appreciate that, and they're not going to enjoy the game as much. So I think that's something worth bearing in mind. As for enthusiasm, I always like to set myself little targets. So I think I've mentioned on the pod before where I will set aside a squad of maybe 10 or 2 squads of 20 models, something like that. And I'll aim every day, just an hour, paint one color. If it's just the base coat of brown or gray, get that done. The next day, paint all the boots black, and you're done. And then as you're slowly going through, you'll see yourself making the progress, and you'll be able to mentally tick off those things that you've done. And that just, because you're hitting little goals that you're setting yourself, you feel good about what you're doing, and it gives you the impetus and the momentum to keep going. What about you guys?
So for me, I think keeping busy, so that, because a lot of time when you batch painting stuff, because I paint a lot of minis, especially with like doing my painting minis for other people, the commission work. What I'll do is I'll set aside a bunch of dudes. I'll do like batch painting, so you do one thing on everyone. I'll keep doing that until you start getting a bit flagging and getting a bit bored. So you switch to something else. You have 2 or 3 things on your paint desk.
So multiple projects.
Yeah, and that way you don't get bored of one thing.
Yeah,
but everything's getting done.
That's a good way if you play more than one system, I think. So if you've got like a Blood Bowl team to paint and a Soviet army, if you can switch between the two, then it gives you something. If you're switching from like a Soviet army to a British army, it's out of the frying pan into the fire sometimes, isn't it?
Also, for a bit of enthusiasm, I generally try, if I'm trying to get an army done, I'll whack on a war film in the background that relates to that army, if that makes sense. So I was painting my British powers, I whacked Bridge Too Far on. It's like, you sat there painting it, you can see it on the screen. It's kind of that, it gives you...
Well, during our massive terrain build over the last couple of weekends, we've watched all 3 Lord of the Rings films.
I always think, I always set myself like a reward. So I'll say something like, if I paint these 20 dudes, there's a nice big shiny tank over there I want to paint, but I'm not allowed to paint that until I paint these 20 dudes. So so that encourages me to paint the 20 dudes because I want to paint the big shiny tank. Paint with
How
friends.
did you get your Polish done then? Because those tanks are fucking tiny.
Yeah, sneezed paint on them.
Yeah,
it's like they got turrets and put tracks on them.
I painted all 4 in a single batch, so consider it like a single tank.
I'm surprised it took you more than a single minute to paint all 4 of them.
It was only one evening, let's be fair. But painting friends. So if you're really struggling to get the motivation for painting, invite all your mates over, get them to bring their paints as well, and then to chat shit as you paint. And I promise, seeing other people painting in front of you, and when they inevitably paint more than you in an evening, will spur you on to want to do more.
Yeah.
To enjoy doing that at workshop, like back in the day when workshop was a place to go and paint and play, not what the fuck it is now.
Back in my day.
You know what else is helping me immensely at the moment with painting progress? The thought of being punished through the Hobby Lobby, with maybe taking here's 2 veteran MMG teams. I don't want to do it. No.
Yeah. Well, we have had a couple of listeners, haven't we, start doing Hobby Lobby progress with us that keep sending us messages. So Akhtar, I think, is our biggest proponent of that. He sends us messages every couple of weeks with updates. So I think
Akhtar puts us to shame.
He does.
Australian Dan puts us to shame as well. So,
Yeah.
I don't really approve of this because then they're just like, look at my Hobby Lobby. This is far more than I'd ever Hobby Lobby pledge, you wank.
I know. And Akhtar, if you call that tabletop standard again, mate, I'm going to fly over there and slap you in the face, you twat. Those models are really, really fucking good.
But yeah, back to the point. If anyone's looking to get into the hobby, because we have had a lot of interest in new people, especially around our region and our club lately, is seriously don't beat yourself up over it. Progress is what counts, not finished armies. Half a model a month, that's better than nothing.
Yeah. Can we say the final way, the best way to get yourself motivated is put this podcast on in the background and paint. Listen to it multiple times. Tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
Multiple
And if you are listening while painting, why the hell haven't you finished that colour yet? Stop! Don't put your brush down. Finish that goddamn colour, then you can get a drink.
Missed a bit.
Call the Polish lady to come and pour hot cheese on you because it's her job.
I would have to stop painting at that point.
The more painted models, the more cheese you get.
Well, they'll be painted, but not with paint.
Is it the more painted models, the more Polish ladies I get? Because I'm in.
Jesus, it was a fly-off joke.
So, Jameson from the good old USA. Not so sure about that. But Jameson's emailed us. He says he really enjoyed the last episode, mainly about the US. So obviously for him, it's a relative subject. He said he loved the American culture jokes, which is great, and he wasn't quite sure how the Europeans knew so much about the Americas, bearing in mind they don't know anything about America.
You can't fucking get away from it every day.
I know.
Trump.
USA.
Trump's the only thing that's making me feel better about Brexit. You know what I mean? At least I'm in the same
You've got to
boat.
stop passing wind, mate. You've got to stop passing.
Yeah.
Just wait for Boris.
Sometimes
fuck
the
me.
grass isn't greener, is it? So what he messaged us was that he's played Bolt Action V2, which is obviously the best game you can play, but he's also played Conflict 47, and he really dug how cool the weird models were. So I've been lusting after the Soviet Conflict 47 stuff, like the werewolves and the ghouls and stuff like that you can use for them. And he's asked if any of us have played Conflict 47, how do you think it compares, and if we would be interested in doing it in the future as a game system to try out.
1.5.
Yeah. So personally, I haven't played Conflict 47. Aesthetically, it looks amazing, because who doesn't want to play pretty much real life Command and Conquer, but with werewolves and stuff. And that seems really cool. But in terms of mechanics, I think they use the D10 system, don't they, in Conflict 47?
It's Bolt Action. It's still D6s.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So here's my problem with Bolt Action. Well, with Conflict 47, is when I heard it was coming out, I got really excited because I thought it was just going to be like a campaign book with a load of special units in it, specifically so you can play Weird War. Yeah. Turns out they brought out their own entire fucking rulebook, which is just different enough with Bolt Action that you question everything. Now, I've not played it myself. I've read the rulebook, but I've not had the desire to play it for two reasons. One, because I don't want to have to confuse myself with two game systems that are close enough but not close enough, if that makes sense. And secondly, the models are fucking expensive, but that's by the by. What I wanted, and I don't know if I'm the only person, I just wanted a supplement for Bolt Action, if that makes sense. I didn't want a whole new game.
I agree. The thing is, when they dropped the rules, it was literally just before second ed, so everyone was reading into these rules of Conflict 47 going, oh damn, this is what the new edition of Bolt Action is going to be like. And we're like, yeah, Ace. You start looking at it and reading into it and going, right, okay, I have to learn this. And then second ed dropped, and we got our rule books and went,
everything changed.
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted something a bit more like Tank War.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted it to be a lot easier to slot things in.
The same but slightly different.
Yeah, so it's because
I mean, from a marketing point of view, it is genius from Warlord, making it almost the same but different enough that you have to buy other rule books and spend more money.
Is it though?
One
Because
unit
I've not
in.
brought anything. Whereas beforehand, if it was just an expansion book, I would have got the expansion book, and then that would have been like, oh, I have everything. I just have to go and buy this one model, and I can play it against other people who normally play Bolt Action because the rules are no different. Whereas now, I've got to get the rule book, I've got to buy the models, and I've got to play other people who are also playing Conflict 47, and it's just, they've just made it a bit.
They could have made it. Yeah, they could have made it Warmer Hordes, couldn't they? Or Warmer Hordes-esque,
That's what, yeah, exactly.
Because both systems are essentially the same, but from fantasy and mechanical perspectives, they could have done that a bit more, I guess.
Buy-in. The problem with it, I find, is the buy-in, because as much as you can use your Bolt Action stuff, you kind of can't use some of it, and some of it's got weapons, and a lot of the infantry have a look and feel and different weapons as well, and you're just there going, wait, what? Why?
Again, still cheaper than GW stuff though.
You say that those giant Soviet Walker tanks are like 50 quid.
Yeah, but so is a Rhino nowadays.
No, well, sure, but you compare. It's like the equivalent of like a Predator or a Land Raider, isn't it? So it's like the same price.
10 metal infantry, £32.50.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's a bit much.
For bolt action and for historical, obviously historical in inverted commas there, but it's it's on the pricier side. It is up there with your more high-end systems like Warmer Hordes and GW, which I find really odd considering that the rest of the price for stuff is not anywhere near that.
It just makes it a little bit more difficult to jump onto. You know what I mean? It just adds that kind of moment to it. If they were models, if like one of those Walker tanks was like 30 quid,
I'm in.
It'd be a lot easier to sign off on that.
And if someone like casually came up and was like, "Yo, do you fancy a game of this? I know the rules, and I'll just like walk you through the extras." And like, oh, here's a couple extra units you can borrow just to play. Fuck it, I'd play it just for a laugh, but I don't see myself getting like into it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like out.
Not just that.
So yeah, that's our answer, I guess, for Conflict 47. Kind of a bit meh.
Yeah, I mean, Jameson, if you want to send us the rulebook and the models to play, mate, we'll let you know. Get on.
Just get on a plane, come over, demo it for us. Yeah, deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And normally, if it's a good enough demo, we tend to buy in.
I have a very weak constitution when it comes to bringing my wallet out and just flashing cash I don't have. So.
Next up, we've got from Steve Williams, and it's about slow playing. So we want to know what is the difference between a legitimate slow player and someone that is slow playing. I've had this one at a few events where I've had both. I've had someone that you can blatantly tell is pretty new at the game, hasn't played their or is using a brand new army, and they're like, oh crap, I've never used this before, and they're like flicking between rule books and looking at their list and like taking time to make decisions. Up against people that legitimately have got onto objectives and then gone, right, I've got to slow play this to play through the clock to make sure that they win. And I think it can be very difficult.
One way for if it's a new player or not, like Gaz said, is when they're checking loads and loads of rules, that is a big indicator. But if they're not checking too many and it's just one or two here and there, but they're pulling you up on stuff that you might not be sure of, that is someone that is probably slow playing you.
Yeah.
If they can kind of, oh, well, what about this, this, and this? And you shouldn't be able to do that. And it's like, well, you wouldn't really know that kind of an intricate rule if you've only just started. You know, you'd know the cover is -1 or -2 and down is -2. That's about it, sort of thing. But it's really hard to judge between the two because you just get, it's hard to.
I had one guy pull me up on something really obvious. I was like, dude, really? So no, where is it in the rule book? I'm like, for fuck's sake, that is like blatantly on purpose. I'm like, come on, pull the other one, mate.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you find if they're slow playing, even though you're trying to look up the reference for a rule for one situation, they're looking at other situations as well, and they're only doing it to waste time.
Yeah.
I think another big thing with slow play is I tend to play with a lot of dice in my lists, and a lot of multiple dice players. You know, if you're looking between like 18 to 22 dice, people can genuinely call you a slow player when you're genuinely trying to move shit. What I tend to do with that is I'll just say to my opponent, look, mate, I'm going to advance this blob of troops dice because I'm just going to keep moving stuff because, you know, get the game going. So I hate to think of someone calling me out for slow play.
I mean, you are pretty slow.
But that's mentally, not with the game, mate. But, you know.
You can tend to tell slow play because if someone's always finishing their games on time and then suddenly they didn't get past turn 2 in the same time limit, well, what's changed? If it turns out there was an advantageous position and then it was in their interest for the game to end as soon as possible, that's looking a bit dodgy to me. And I don't buy the high dice list slow game approach. Like, I know I'm a fast gamer, but I'm famed for taking high dice lists, and I've never failed to finish a game at a tournament ever.
Exactly.
So people go, "Ooh, I can't finish. Got a high dice list." Fair enough, mate, but then don't fucking bring a high dice list. You know what I mean? If you know that you're a slow player. Like, if you just know
take
you're
if you're a slow player, bring the fucking 5 dice tiger list, because you know what?
you ain't got time to fuck about with your 22 dice. Like, if someone's... Yeah, it is a difficult one, isn't it? But you can kind of tell just from like a... It's like a feeling, isn't it? It's very subjective.
Yeah.
But you can kind of tell
It's
when
a
someone's
weird
having you
feeling,
on.
yeah. It's a weird feeling because you're seeing them do something really quick for a couple turns. It turns advantageous to them, and they slow right down, and you're going, all right, mate. Whatever.
I mean, I'd be very upset if anyone tried that at one of our events.
Yeah, we will be walking around
Yeah,
checking for stuff like that.
out. No time for that shit.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Time for that.
So yeah, any other points on that? I feel like we haven't really... It's hard to go into, isn't it, slow play? Because everyone knows it.
It's such
But
a
it's hard
fine
to
line as
describe,
well.
Yeah.
You about
There's
it as
such
well.
a
I mean,
fine margin.
you can't just go and say to TO, "Oh, he's slow playing me," and the dude's like, "Oh, I really don't know this game," or something. Do you know what I mean? It can be very awkward.
Because then you're
it's
the
just
dickhead, aren't you? Then.
And some people I've heard also like consider slow playing a valid tactic. Whereas
I
for
fucking
me,
hate that.
it's for me it's the same as cheating. You know what I mean? You should play to get the
Definitely.
game's not finished until it's finished. If one person's going, well, he's brought a cheesy list, so I feel like I'm obligated to slow play. Fuck off, mate. You're as bad as that guy is. You know what I mean? You are no better if you're slow playing. So,
No, you're
Probably
worse. You're
Well-
worse because there is no. We've said before there is no cheese. It's just what you perceive as cheese. So if you're being the twat that says, "Oh, I'm just going to slow play it because it's a 22 dice Russian list," then you're just a twat and no one wants to be your friend. So get back to your little hobbit cave.
there you go. That's our opinion on slow playing.
if you're ever feeling like you're not going as fast as you could be, or you've got to spend have that 5 minutes to think before you make a decision, just tell your opponent, sorry, hang on a minute, I need to think about this one.
Yeah,
But
if
don't
you
do it
think you're
every
going to
time.
if you think you're going to be a slow player because you've bought 22 dice and you're not the quickest or you're quite new to the game, make that abundantly clear at the start of the game so that your opponent knows that he needs to do that sort of stuff by around turn 3 or 4 because there's a risk of running out of time.
Yeah.
And then at least both of you are on the same playing field then. Both of you know exactly what is happening. Yeah, you can't get to turn 5 and suddenly go, "Oh, what does the rules for advancing again? 'Cause I'm not 100% sure. I'm new to the game." You think, "Oh, fucking what a dick."
And if you're ever
Oh.
afraid of getting slow played, the standard Juggernaut response is get ahead in the game, get ahead by a lot, because it means your opponent, if they're slow playing at that point, are slow playing.
Yeah,
Get ahead, stay ahead, laugh as they try and catch up.
yeah.
Well, big tip for everyone that's using inexperienced hordes: movement trays.
Yeah.
Trays.
And don't be
Yeah,
precious about getting
Steam
killed.
I bought movement trays for my Belgians for that same reason because there's a lot of inexperienced shit dudes that need to be moved quickly.
Also, I'd say make your decision of what you're going to do next while your opponent's taking his activation.
Yeah.
By the time
It's
the
the-
dice comes out, you should already know what you're going to do with it. You shouldn't be sitting there going, I don't know. No, you should already... The dice come out, you go, bang, boom. You should be straight in there.
It's a bit like snooker, isn't it? Good players think 6 or 7 shots ahead. So as they're potting the red, they know what colour they need to be on and then what position they need to be on for the next one and so on and so on. You need to be doing that in bolt action. You need to be thinking, if I've got the next dice, this needs to happen. And then after that, that needs to happen. So that when you get the dice, you know exactly where you are. And you can just go bang, 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 done. There you go.
And on the flip side, it's harder than snooker because you've also got to go. If you do get the next dice, you've got to run through that one. And if I don't get the next dice, I've got to work off that one as well.
Yeah.
Also, I think if you're a tournament gamer, because it's a different style of play, isn't it? Because there's playing at club on a Tuesday night where you've got all the time in the world and it doesn't really matter. You're not playing for keeps or anything. Versus a tournament where you've got a set time limit, you've got a specific style of play, specific mission. It's all very organised and orchestrated. So it's if you're playing in a tournament, you should style and play as if you were in a tournament. It sounds really obvious, but I don't think people necessarily take that with them to tournaments. They play like they always do.
It's time.
Fair enough, but no, a tournament is poof, 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 poof. It's very orchestrated, there's time orientated. So you need to play in such a way that you get your shit done, you get your game finished. And if the tournament only allows 2 hours, but you normally only finish a game in 2.5 hours, well, you need to change something then because you ain't got 2.5 hours. You've only got 2 hours, and you owe it to yourself and your opponent to finish the game.
And if you're in an event where there's a Juggernaut, don't be surprised if there's a couple Juggernauts wandering around after their games. We don't hang about with.
Don't fuck about.
Yeah. I'm doing that. Bang. Like that. You know.
The biggest thing for practicing for tournaments, because most people practice for the tournaments, but all they do is they practice their list. They don't practice the time constraints. I think that's the biggest thing you can practice.
Yeah,
Definitely.
agreed.
Even just having a timer going on by the side of the table to look at yourself and go, oh, I'm going too slow, or I'm fine. Fantastic idea.
The worst one for me, I'm going to go to pet hate mini rag now. You know, when you turn up for a tournament and you go, oh, it's round 2. Okay, you're on that table playing that guy, cool. And then you sit there and the bloke doesn't turn up for 10 minutes and the round's already started.
Yeah,
Then he gets
he's gone for shit.
He gets there, sits his army down. Oh mate, I'm just going to go nip to my car, yeah. And you're like, what you do? Walks off, comes back. Oh mate, do you want a drink, yeah? And it's like, but, I mean, fair enough. It's like,
an hour later.
Yeah.
Going, fuck's sake.
I had one of those at the GT. Turned up 15 minutes late to the game because he went to go and have a fag.
Oh fuck me.
I mean, a cigarette, not a blowy in the glory hole.
See, I get smokers that they're addicted, right? But if you're due to be at the fucking table, fuck you, get to the table.
Yeah, smoke on your own time, mate.
And also hook up with gay men on your own time as well, just to cover the bases. So last episode we went through some stats with the WTC, which Russell had kindly provided. I can just say, guys, I've actually got hold of the spreadsheet now.
Ooh.
Which is it's not pretty. It's a man who loves his data's built it, so it's very much just numbers pretty. Everywhere, very nitty gritty. But he actually sent some more information through. So, message from Russell. Just been playing with the data again. Looked at infantry, fixed teams, etc. Then tanks. I'll break this up into segments so you prepare for a big essay. So this is in regards to the army lists that were taken to the WTC. For snipers, 24 were taken. How many players were there again? It's about 50. Was it
4
50
per team.
12 teams.
48 players. Okay, so snipers, 24 were taken, only 1 was a vet. Similar story for flamethrower, 2-man teams with only 16 taken and 1 vet. Win rate was basically the same with or without snipers, though the top 5 players, only 1 player bothered with either. The 4 of the list didn't take either. Note for win rates, I am only looking at generic risks, as we have established tank lists and double lists are statistically significantly better, and there are more tank lists without snipers than withs. Suggests the units are not broken, and the fact the top player decides in general not to use them is interesting. So what do we think?
Do you want to know who the top player was that took both a sniper and a flamethrower?
Is that you, Dan?
That is me.
Yeah, along with the other flamethrowers in your other squads. I think.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if any of the top players had engineer squads with flamethrowers, because they're not the same as a flamethrower team.
No.
I think that's interesting though, that because snipers and flamethrower teams are the kind of thing that the internet goes Christ cheese about. Turns out not as popular as one thought.
In certain lists you don't need
too
them.
much.
Yeah, in certain lists you don't need them. So a Japanese spear fighter and militia horde, you don't need a fucking sniper, do you? Killing one bloke a turn with a sniper is going to make no difference when you can charge a squad of 20 men and batter it anyway.
Yeah. The thing I find with flamethrowers, at least playing people at tournaments and club and things, is there becomes an over-reliance on the flamethrower to do something, and when it then fails to do something, they put themselves all in one basket and gone shit.
Yeah. So the lesson there is take 4.
Yeah, take 4 or none.
So carrying on, mortars, 41 mortar teams were taken, 12 light, 15 medium and 14 heavy. I was a bit surprised by how popular light ones were. Also, they were always taken as an inexperience, a cheap extra dice with chance of causing some trouble, maybe. 9 were inexperienced, 1 vet and 2 regs. Medium had 10 regular, all with spotters, and then 5 inexperienced. And heavy, also 10 regular and 4 heavy mortars. Only 16 armies out of the 48 didn't take mortars, and of these, 10 were tank or double platoon lists. So win rates for the 6 lists without mortars is 36%, with 17% draws, meaning those lists marginally underperformed other lists with mortars. Suggest they were taken by stronger players, or of the top 5 players bar the single tank list used them. So, mortars, yes, get them in your life.
They're god mode, aren't they?
They're just
They're
the answer.
so good.
They are the answer to those problems which annoy you.
For any enemy artillery, you are point for point cheaper as the mortar compared to the variant. So if you're a medium mortar against, say, a medium howitzer, you are cheaper, even with a spotter. So you're going to earn your points back eventually. It's just a case of which turn you do it on. And if you manage to do it in the first couple of turns, you switch to another target and then another lucky hit, and you're basically ruin your opponent's day, don't you?
I think
And the light mortars have always been a favourite of mine.
I love light mortars.
They're flipping brilliant. Just for the cheeky, well, I'll try that. Why not? Oh, it worked.
Yeah, I took a light mortar just for the, like Russell says, the extra dice. But basically, it's the, if you've got something that I don't like and I want to try and put a couple of pins on it, that's great. It's not going to kill much, but a couple of pins is fantastic.
A movable small team mortar that obviously, because as soon as you start ranging in mortar fire, the artillery piece is probably going to try and range in on you, and having that small team where you go, yep, bye-bye, we're off, and we can still fire afterwards is pretty ace.
Yeah, and judging by what you said on the last point about not many people taking snipers, they're not going to be easy enough to kill, because usually you just take a sniper and that's your anti-team weapon. One sniper shot, bang's gone, done, carry on for the rest of the game without it. But if no one's taking snipers, it's going to take a dedicated thing to actually kill it, and you're just wasting tank shots or an infantry squad shots, in which case you just go down. Who cares?
And
it's 50 points.
You see, I took light mortars, but they weren't in a team, they were inside a squad. I'd want to know how many, well, there wasn't a lot of Japanese, how many players would have managed to squeeze the light mortar within a squad, because I think that's more powerful anyway.
I mean, we won't go into this much further, because obviously we did just the tip for mortars a few episodes back. But it's just when bolt action is a game about taking ground and manoeuvring and getting yourself in the best position, mortars are the perfect weapon to get other people out of those good positions. So, you know, I think that just confirms what we said a few episodes back, really.
I'm very surprised that a lot of the double platoons didn't just take double mortars, though. That is a bit odd, because they are such a powerful weapon. I'm not sure why you wouldn't spam them.
One of the double platoons I played had double mortars and double howitzers.
Well, that's the exception, isn't it?
I had double heavy
And
howitzer and double
4
Katyusha,
units
so
of Bamboo
I didn't really
spear
need-
fighters.
Yeah.
So with double mortars, double howitzers, and then 4 units of Bamboo spear fighters, you're in for a bad day.
Yeah.
So, carry on with Russell's comments. Are flamethrowers broken? 7 armies brought 2 or more flamethrowers in their list in whatever form, engineers, tanks, etc. And these had a win rate bang in line with the rest at 38%. So on the face of it, they make little difference. So remember, 38% is a win, because then you have some draws and some losses in there. So it's about right, about 50-50. Looking at lists with no flamethrowers at all, so the generic ones, win rate was actually higher than usual, but I think this reflects the fact that such lists had a lot of Japanese and Gurkhas in there. Exactly half, 24 of the armies out there, did not bother with any form of flamethrower, which was surprising. Russell thought they'd be far more popular, but results suggest it's reasonable that they're not the be-all and end-all.
They're not. You need to use them right.
Mm.
A good positioning of a flamethrower and a good time to spring the, if it's the last dice of a turn 2 and the first of a turn 3, you are going to ruin someone's day with them.
Yeah.
But they're not the best.
Yeah, in terms of the top 5 lists, flamethrowers were split. The 2 US lists did have them, and the 2 Japanese lists didn't have them. Neither did the the British tank list.
The Japanese lists don't need them half the time. Your infantry are better than everybody else's
you take
anyway.
flamethrowers to deal with Japanese. If you are Japanese, you don't need to, because you're already Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with Japanese just by being Japanese, so...
Yeah. Other points, political officers, 10 were used, including a single chaplain. Both top Japanese lists had political officers, which, for saying they were
they
spear fighter
probably
lists,
had 2.
had the Kemper ties, yeah. Also, they tend to be cheap dice as well.
Are they the ones that re-roll the green check or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fantastic for their points,
also
aren't they?
includes like commissars,
Yeah.
which is just really cool. They do a lot for their points. For saying they're normally like 10-15 points, they do a fair bit. Medics,
they're really good.
7 appeared. Medics are a very
7
bad
medics.
Medics are a very bad idea. I think only less experienced players are taking them. Win rate with them is significantly lower than average at 30%. Political officers, however, the 10 list with them had a 50% win rate, well ahead of the average. Both Japanese players in the top 5 use them. This high win rate also correlated to their use in Japanese and Russian lists, which we know are good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically, is it because the armies that can take political officers are good, or is it because the political officers are good? If that makes sense, where's the difference?
You've still got to know how to use them.
The political officers are only good with the green infantry around them.
It just happens that I think it's more the Japanese and Russians are better as standard, because the Japanese infantry are boss mode anyway, because they just ignore the morale rules. So the being an X doesn't really matter. And then if you get a 75% chance to make them regular, it's really good.
So, of the Russian lists that were not tank
Hold
platoons...
You
Sorry,
you
Pete.
missed a comment there, right at the bottom.
I was trying to save your face, Pete.
Do it.
Only one Japanese list didn't take any Kempetai, and it went 1 win, 1 draw, 4 losses, and we all know who that was.
It was me, because I had no green units in my army, so why would I take a Kempetai? I mean, really.
So, of the Russian lists that were not tank platoons, and they
Or Silo Heights.
Or Silo Heights is basically a tank platoon. The ones that didn't have commissars, the record was 3 wins, 7 draws, and 8 losses, which is very
Ouch.
unusual. So this is a lot worse when compared to the rest of the Russian list that we did have them. So they seem to be very valuable to a Russian list. Data is too small a sample for Japanese, but still interesting that the top Japanese players took them. I mean, they're cheap dice. I don't see a reason to not take them really. Other than,
Yeah, I
to
see
not
it
take
more
them.
as a what's your army built around? Well, get that boy in there, than have that boy for the giggle.
For a 10-point insurance policy, I mean, there's probably nothing better in the game for 10 points, is there?
15
points,
15
God
for a
damn.
commissar, yeah. No, it's 15
It's
for a
15
commissar.
for Kempetai and 15 for Commissar.
Yeah.
Okay.
My only thing is, as the Japanese point of view, my only thing is if you've not got the NX, you may as well take the 14-point suicide guy.
Yeah, if you've not got the units to use them with, it's like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
But as we know, most tournament Japanese lists are built around bamboo and militia squads.
Oh yeah.
Forward artillery observers. 10 forward artillery observers were taken. 9 British for free.
Shock
Long
horror.
paid for an
Only
artillery
a single
observer.
French list paid for one. It was a double
Idiot.
platoon, and it went 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses, suggesting they are probably not worth paying for.
Yeah,
That
no
was
shit.
the guy. That was the French player as well who took that, I think.
Yep.
Only 2 air observers throughout the World Team Championships list. 1 US list and 1 German list. The Yank list went 2 wins, 2 draw, 2 losses, and the German
That was the Polish player.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
German list didn't win any, didn't draw any, and lost every single game.
Probably killed his own units.
So 3 out of the 4 United States list did not bother with them, which backs up our podcast advice. Woohoo! Yeah, don't take.
I
observers.
didn't take one because they're fucking
No.
shite.
They're crap.
Out of the
I
entire
might take one for a laugh.
out of the entire tournament, only 3 light machine guns / machine gun teams were taken. All
By who?
All by Scotsmen. Combined 5 wins, 3 draws, 10 losses record. So terrible.
Dear Scotland, they're shit. Get a grip.
Russell has added, this doesn't mean they are bad, it means they are chosen by bad Scottish players. I would say you're wrong, Russell. They are bad for their points. They are very bad.
Super bad.
Only 4 Piat / Bazooka teams taken, and they actually did well. 16 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses is remarkably good. Reflects they are in US and UK lists, which are good, strong lists anyway. But suggests they have value and need to be looked at again. Which, yeah, that's fair. I think Piats and Bazookas.
Love me a bazooka.
They're all right. I mean, Piats.
All
I
right
wish
with
they were
Piats.
bazookas, but
Piats are useful.
you know how you fix Piats? You give them 18-inch range. Then I'd
Yeah.
love them. 12 inches is just so mean. Ow.
Bazookas are
Guy,
fantastic.
just
as well,
just a little snippet of something that might be coming out. I'd get your north of the USA border hats on. Start apologising because you're getting a hell of a new unit.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Are you getting Piat Destroyer squads?
Is the Piat carrier finally going to be a bit of thing so I can squee like a little girl? Squee!
We're still working on that one, but yeah, that
Okay.
should be fun.
I love guys, Google the
Oh.
Piat carrier, and then
Ridiculous.
just laugh at the insanity.
You don't need to Google it. It's exactly what it sounds like.
It's a Piat in a Bren carrier. Get a grip.
Is it a
It's not
Piat
in
that
it. It's on the outside.
Is it a Piat that fires Bren carriers at people?
Yes.
Amazing.
That would make it more useful.
Oh.
Okay, so once going back to Piats and bazookas, of the top 5 list, 2 used them, including the British tank list. A German list also took Panzer Destroyers and went 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 loss. Very good for a German list, which makes me look really bad when I had loads of them to Cambridge.
I've got an idea they used 1 squad, not 3. They kind of copped out.
Yeah, that's probably... I think I probably overdid it. I think 1 good squad in a truck to go hunt your enemy's tank is probably a good buy. Building your entire army out is probably a bad buy. The final line, this makes me really happy, from Russell's comment. Anti-tank rifles are terrible, used an awful lot, but win rate is well below that of the average at only 28%. I note the England team took 0 anti-tank rifles, so you already knew this. Yes, we did.
Yes,
Anti-tank rifles are fucking awful.
They're garbage.
So bad. I've got
Give me a medic any day.
The fact that the other night at club Toph used one and it did nothing just reinforces they're still garbage.
There's a reason they're called anti-Toph rifles.
Yeah.
Because they go against my very being. But that's the end of Russell's massive comment, but I thought that was some pretty good deep diving information there.
It's always good to get the stats to back up what you say, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost like we know what we're talking about.
I just like to chat shit.
Almost.
So now that we've done all of those stats, shall we go into another section of Cap'n Crunch Data Munch?
Woo! Cap'n Crunch.
Cap'n Crunch. Captain Crunch, Data Munch. Do you like the theme tune?
No.
Captain Crunch,
Why didn't you sing it like a pirate?
It's like Team America style, I think he's going for.
I think Pete's...
Captain Crunch, Data Munch.
First they're gonna munch some data, they're gonna munch on your pussy.
Oh,
Cassie's talking to you.
He's going in with teeth.
So I've got lists of submitted, except one. So we got 25 out of the 26 lists submitted from Not One Step Back, and I have.
Hang on. Gaz, do you want to resubmit your list right now, or what?
Yeah, I've had some ideas now. You've talked about adding mortars in. I need a mortar. I need to resubmit my list.
I've got the list. I've put them into a PowerPoint and a spreadsheet. It's all very pretty. Done pivot tables. It's brilliant.
Have you done VLOOKUPs?
No, I've not done VLOOKUPs yet. Give it time. I'll do that next, just for the sake of it. If anyone's following our Facebook page, they'll see I have posted one little spoilery pie chart with the army ratios. Have you guys seen that? Or are you in the?
Yes, I have seen that.
You all seen that?
I was actually very surprised there weren't more Germans. I mean, it's pretty
one Japanese list, for God's sake. One
pretty standard amount of loads of British because, well, why wouldn't you?
Britain.
But the amount of German, I'm quite impressed. There's like how many out of all those German players, how many have got tigers? That's the question.
Spoiler alert. We'll get to
that's
it.
the questions we're gonna get to.
Yeah.
Oh, bring back Sheffield.
Well, there were 7 German lists, 8 British lists, and 4 Soviet Union lists. Every other army is just 1. So 1 Australian, 1 Belgian, 1 French, 1 Japanese, 1 Partisan, 1 United States player. And the British,
Nice.
4 of them are paratroopers.
2 of them we know, right?
I almost had paras as their own army because they're so fucking. So I don't. Do you reckon that's just because we're a bit close to D-Day, and everyone's a bit excited still?
No, I just think the paras are the better units.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's because like the Not One Step, the pack kind of favoured them a bit.
Well, paras get stubborn, don't they?
Maybe.
Paras are hands down but if you're taking vets, they're the better unit.
My commandos, but whatever.
Going back to the pack, just so everyone's on the same page. So we had some house rules for Not One Step Back. We removed Tiger Fear and we gave a 100-point discount to big tanks, like your Panther, your Tiger, your King Tigers.
The discount depended on the tank, right?
Yeah, it varied. For a Panther it was 75 points and for a King Tiger it was 150. But the idea was let's make your big tanks cheaper for German players as kind of like a national rule. We also got rid of shit like Tiger Fear. We got rid of the freaking horse and mule toes and just allowed big guns to spend like a 10-point premium to allow themselves one move to get onto the table. And we also, my favourite was we allowed squads taken at full strength were allowed to take their LMG for free.
I would like to imagine that every full strength squad has its LMG.
Yeah, so effectively it actually gave people encouragement to take their squads at full strength, so rather than min-maxing. And that's on top of our own selector, which basically worked like a generic selector, but then you were allowed to spend slot points to either buy extra slots, so you could say spend your slot points to have a second sniper, a second armored car, second tank, or you could spend your slot points to have good broken units like multi-launchers or howitzers, or a combination therein. So you could spend some slot points on getting extra slots and some slot points on getting extra units. You with me till now?
Yep.
I hope so, because you guys are TOing it and Gaz is playing in this tournament, so fuck me if you guys
Ah.
don't know.
Guys, you're not going to win. I'm just telling you now.
Okay, so let's do this then. So out of what do you reckon was the average dice count?
Now,
Biggest
we
strength
know-
squads, 11.
You fucker! I was going to say 11.
Same size.
Fuck you!
I'll go.
No, actually,
I'll go 10
I'm going 9 because I know
because
that
we know that a lot of
I
people
know
have bought
QB
big
takes-
tanks. I mean, Gaz has bought a Churchill. We know that there's one that's brought 2, or 2 that have brought 2 actually, haven't they? Yeah, I think 9 or 10 is probably right.
12 dice.
Yes!
Oh.
Fuck you, Dan!
So the top one is 18. So this was marketed as a competitive tournament. We put it on the very front page of the pack. This is a competitive tournament. Come to try and win. So the fact that the highest list is 18. So I wonder, is that because there's loads of people taking Tigers, which has dragged it down, or is that because the pack itself doesn't allow you to spam units as easily as one normally could?
You know what's kind of crazy?
Hmm?
Been advertised as a really competitive event, and just from the general buzz, because there's a few of my mates that go in, and just from us lot talking about it, it's actually had the opposite effect, and everyone's gone big tanks and just have a laugh, and it seems to have worked really well. That people are like, fuck it, I don't care what I take, let's just have a laugh.
Well, I think the fact
Awesome.
we kind of went, come and have a laugh, and you'll get a prize regardless of where you place, has really helped as well. So there's none of that, oh shit, I mean, if you come and lose every game, you can still have a good time. It's not about, walking away with the biggest box under your arm. And also, I guess you know where you stand. We've been really open and upfront about what we're doing, so at least you can prepare. And you can say, I might play some hard lists at this tournament.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's a different one. The average number of inexperienced units per army.
3.
2.
4.
2.
Oh!
Officer and a mortar.
Yeah, 12 of the list didn't have any inexperienced units at all. And then the rest only had 1 or 2. The 2 armies with the highest were 7 each, which was Mr. Luke Fogg and Mr. Matt Grimes, both Juggernauts who had Partisans and Soviet Union respectively. So, we've not gone for many high inexperienced lists. Regulars.
Ooh. Regulars per army?
So, yeah, on average, how many regular units did an army have?
Ooh.
I think because of the 12
5.
dice count, we know that people are taking paras and Gurkhas and stuff. I think it's going to be 3 or 2. It's probably even 2 again.
I've gone for 5.
8.
8?
I will put it out there. Yeah.
Yeah, Gaz, you're closest, 7.
Ooh.
I think the thing is, even like a veteran list, it doesn't tend to be your entire army.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And I was
yeah,
thinking
your squad's a
teams.
vet, but like your teams and your tanks might not necessarily be, and your trucks. And because Excel is fun with the way it does maths, vet dice average 4, so it doesn't add up to 12.
Oh,
This Excel, can you tell the Excel's mine?
Yeah.
So there's a
so
Again-
Toast, you
again-
can't add, mate.
there was
Again, take these figures with a pinch of salt.
there was only one list where the entire army was the same veterancy. No, 2 lists even. One,
John's by any chance?
one was John's. Yeah, no, one.
Was the other Sam's? Because he's only
No.
he's only got like 3 dice.
Juggernaut Brad has a list with just 11 regular units and nothing else. Alan's
That
got
sounds
9
good.
veteran units and nothing else. And that's it. Everyone else has at least got something of something else.
Wow.
I think John's got at least 1 vet in his list, if I recall. So.
Actually, no. I think his list is purely vets, apart from the free observer.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the fun bit. Bearing in mind that there's 25 lists submitted, how many flamethrower teams do we have overall? How many flamethrower teams in the tournament?
More than half.
How many
easily,
submitted?
I reckon.
Total?
25 lists submitted.
25 lists.
How many? So how many flamethrowers in total?
Yes. So if someone took 5 flamethrowers, it would be 5 for them.
I'm going to say 6
I reckon-
overall.
I reckon it's really high. I reckon it's like 12.
I actually think it's not quite as high as you think. I think it's about 8.
9.
Ooh.
Yeah, well,
Nice
I
one,
don't think
Pete.
that's like what, barely a third. So on average, everyone's got
Thank you, Russell.
0.33 of a.
I just looked at the percentages that Russell had put up for the WTC and hit the same percentage.
Okay, multi-launchers. How many multi-launchers are there at non-one step back?
2.
I wonder how many people have actually read the pack and realised they're not actually as good as standard bolt action ones.
So that's another thing.
2.
So as part of the pack, obviously we nerfed them in that you have to use slot points to take them. So if you're going to take multi-launchers, that's less points to take things like extra snipers. Also, we've reduced them so they hit as a light howitzer, not a medium howitzer. So we've toned them down a bit as well. So if they hit a small team, they'll probably kill it. But if they hit a squad, they ain't going to annihilate it outright unless they get lucky or you're badly positioned. So they've been heavily nerfed.
See, I think the same as Pete, but I'm just going to say 3.
Okay.
I am going to say 0.
I've gone 2, man.
2.
Like,
No, Gaz is doing very well at this. 3.
Oh, Gaz, fuck off.
it sounds like we've got 2 in the same list.
Yes.
So he spent
Damn.
4 slot points on getting 2 in the same list.
Yeah. So Sean's took 2. Juggernaut DJ's took 1, and that's 3.
Oh,
That's
of
it.
course, DJ's going.
Each round you have a 10% chance of seeing a multi-launcher. No, it's even less than that, because it's... Oh, I can't be able to do the math now. Yeah, you've got quite a low chance of seeing a multi-launcher. There's hardly any here.
Question,
And
have you
the
got
nice
any
thing
urban
is-
boards?
We have a lot of urban boards, yes.
Got any urban.
They're not many buildings, though, Gaz. They're just ruins, so you're fine.
Oh, man. So Imp's open next time, by the way. I am doing that fucking ridiculously urban table again, and I'm going to stick someone with a multi-launch. I'm going to stick 2 players with multi-launchers on it.
You'll not have a building left by the end of it.
Okay,
That's the idea.
Watch the world burn.
this one will be fun. Snipers. How many snipers are there at not one step back?
I'm gonna go 13.
13.
8.
8.
Just like about a third, isn't it?
No. There's not 8 or 13. Probably exactly 11.
You guys are so far off. 18.
Oh, fucking hell.
18,
Wow.
yeah.
Have people spam double snipers a lot?
18 is the most popular team taken. And no, not a single person has taken double sniper.
Wow,
I
that's
was going to, but I didn't have one
I'm
painted up. So I
surprised
couldn't
because
be
I thought
asked.
double sniper would be the obvious choice for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 7 people haven't brought a sniper. So yeah, that's very interesting. Here we go. The staple of the tournament list, hated by internet gentlemen all across the world, the fabulous medium howitzer. How many?
Oof.
Oh, and by the way, 72% chance of seeing a sniper per round.
Jesus.
So,
Just out of interest, have you got the breakdown on the snipers, veteran versus regular?
No, I've got all the lists on their own, like the actual list. So if someone else wants to assemble said data, they can do. After this podcast launches, I'll be posting the actual list up. So
Send it to Russell. He loves a good
Russell
name.
can do my job for me.
Russell, we know you're listening. I know you love data. You sound like my kind of guy.
I'm sure just the sound of us talking about it here is giving him a hard on, so it's fine. I understand. Yeah, medium
So
houses.
how many medium? I'm going to go with a really low number in 4.
Are we counting medium houses that are on vehicles?
Yes.
The teams.
Oh, in which case 6.
I'm going to
I
guess
say 6.
10.
Pete, you were so close. 4.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
I changed my mind.
There's-
There's 2 in one list. I know.
Yep, there's 2 in one list. So there's the French. So Ian's brought his French, so he's got 1 for free, and he's brought another one, so he's got 2. We have Martin Knowles for his United States. He's brought a medium howitzer Sherman, and then Andrew Ellaby with his
Good
Belgians.
lad.
He brought 1 for free either. So only one person actually brought a stationary medium howitzer on his own back.
Damn.
I think because medium howitzer is another unit that we nerfed by saying if you want them you have to pay slot points, and it looks
Yeah.
like it's worked in toning them down because they are
It's-
at a normal
For 75 points, they're amazing.
at normal times you'd see fucking hundreds of medium howitzers, wouldn't you? And none at all.
I mean, I'd like to make a comment about something that you mentioned, but I don't know what your question is. So.
Oh, hit this one. This one will be fun. Medium machine gun teams. How many cables not one step back, which we're hoping will be the prominent competitive tournament in the UK.
None. There's
See,
none
I
of
know-
the fuckers.
Because I practiced against the list.
He's changed his list. It's none. Nobody needs them.
I'm guessing 3. There'll be 2 in one and then 1 in another.
2.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, John's brought one of them, as has Paul, fellow with Soviet Union. Both Soviet Union players. Read it. Oh no, I might have done this one. Right, yeah, one Paul and then John with his British. Yeah, 2 medium machine gun teams.
We
Well,
will
that's
make
50
sure
points
there
wasted,
are.
isn't it?
Yeah, we will make sure there are doctors on site to assess too, just to make sure they are okay.
Okay, so heavy tanks.
Gotta love them.
Oh.
Bearing in
There's
mind,
10 and 11.
we've given a big fucking discount to these for German players.
Are you classing
Oh.
Are you classing 11 super heavies?
Heavy plus, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually quite a hard question.
So the
Ooh.
German
'Cause I've taken one.
12, 13, 14. I reckon 16 heavy
Just
tanks.
saying, Gaz, your British Churchill is the only heavy tank that's not German.
In
9
which
then.
case there's 14.
We're going 9.
And Dan, what was yours?
I think I said 15.
No, only 9.
Ah,
Ah,
2 of the lists are double tank lists. One of the people,
well played.
one of the guys who told me he was also bringing a double tank list, put it out, and he's only bringing a single Tiger tank list.
boo.
Also, there's technically I didn't count the Panther. If you wanted me to count the Panther, that would be 10.
No, the Panthers are medium with a special rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So Sean Wright's actually bringing a fucking Sturm Tiger.
Oh, what
He's
a lad!
He's brought a Sturm Tiger, which is only like 350 points after the drop, thanks to the not one step backpack, and he then went and put a Panther in anyway. As well as,
You know what? That Stone Tiger basically goes to see that building. Yeah, no, get out.
and shout out to Sam Wrightson, who has just brought a 5 dice list which has 2 tigers in it.
Oh, what?
Go big or go home, eh?
You know what? That's not bad because I'm thinking about it. You know, if I was like with one of my normal tournament lists, if I had to take on 2 tigers, I wouldn't have a fucking clue how to deal with it. You just wouldn't have the ammo, would you?
I
Turns do you
I'm
give my
really
Churchill?
I'd really hope to be playing it at objectives if I was playing 2 Tigers, because
Yeah.
I'll win that. Kill points. How the fuck am I going to kill that?
Well, if you can't kill it, it parks on the objective and you can't get near
Each
thing.
round, you have a 36% chance of facing a tiger. 36%
Wow.
chance. It's the same percent chance of seeing a tiger as you do a flamethrower team.
Wow.
So,
Dear Warlord, Tiger Fear just needs to be a fucking discount on the
so
bigger tanks.
before I've even seen this tournament, I'm immediately preferring our rule to Tiger Fair because people are actually taking tigers to a competitive tournament.
I'd like to see how it does.
Yeah, you'd never
because,
see one of them you'd never see one of those at the GT. Well, you might do now with the soft side, but it's just bonkers.
Yeah.
Because seeing some of the fatty tanks used more recently, I'm there like, actually, these things are really annoying to get rid of.
Mm.
We've discussed it before on the pod, haven't we? Before, I think it was before the WTC episode.
Yeah.
No one takes anything to deal with them because they're all geared up for Armor 7 spam.
Wow.
And
Wow.
wow, and until our pack
I
came
was going
out.
to say, speaking of things to deal with tigers, how many 17-pounders are they?
Oh,
See, this is why I saved it.
Very specifically, 17.
This is why I saved it. I was going to try and mention these around the medium howitzers,
Yeah.
but this is why I saved it.
Not 80,
So,
not not like 88s. No, specifically 17-pounders. How many?
How many British
How-
players were
No,
there again?
There were 8 British players, of which 4 of them were paratroopers.
3.
Nick and his mate
No.
are pairing off because they've had special T-shirts made for it.
So I think in my own mind, 3 of the lists have taken 17-pounders. In my own mind, there'll be 5 17-pounders.
I'm going 6.
4.
You were also wrong. 7.
Oh,
Yeah!
fucking hell.
So, Martin, Alan, Nick, and Matt have all brought 17-pounders, of which 3 of those lists are all paratrooper lists which contain 2 17-pounders.
Oh, sweet.
Now,
Because we started you started noticing them coming in, and I noticed a hashtag going around of real men use 17-pounders. And then I looked at our tournament pack and went, oh, yeah, that's probably the quicker way to get a medium howitzer shot in your army without using a slot point.
so here's what I'm thinking, right? Is it people going, I want to use a medium howitzer, but I don't want to play a slot point, so I'm going to bring a super heavy AT gun? In which case, good call, I like it. That's good. I like the circular application. Or is it people thinking ahead of the game and thinking, there's going to be a lot of fucking tigers here? And
It's tiger fear.
Do you reckon
It's the drop-in
Tiger
points
fear.
for the big guns.
or
Yeah.
is it people just going, I kind of like paratroopers, and the 17-pounder with that toe thing's kind of themed?
Nah, it's a mixture of points 1 and 2.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I think it's
Mate.
points 2 and 3. I think because of the tank points drop, they think, shit, I need something to deal with it. And the 17-pounders do fit, especially with the British as well. The big fuck-off gun battering the enemy from afar is what
I guess
they were known for.
They're easier to play with now because you don't need to necessarily organise a tow. You can just spend your 10 points like we've done in the pack and get your 1 free move on. And
Yeah.
then you
I've got one for you. How many games will my Churchill survive?
None.
Well, there's 28. So you got
No,
9
1. You'll survive 1.
Okay, well you got 7 lists with like heavy tanks in them, which are all going to have super heavy AT guns, and then you got 4 lists with 17 pounders. So
Potentially 2 in each.
So basically, yes, so basically 50% of your lists you're going to face up against a super heavy AT gun. So how do
sort of,
in my slow tank.
does that mean there are 5 lists with double super heavy AT? Because there's 3 British 17-pounder doubles and 2 German heavy tank doubles.
There's another one because one bloke's brought a Tiger, and he's also brought an 88.
Get
Fucking
in!
hell. So six double super heavy ATs. Match
Hey.
them all against Gaz.
Who said all competitive lists look the same? Eh?
I know.
I mean, when we mess with the selector system so much, the meta will change around.
I've always said the problems with bolt action aren't in the rules. The problems with bolt action are in the army selection stages and the points. We've kind of fixed one of them. So
Hey, Toph,
you know,
how
no.
many Stalingrad lists have we got?
none.
Oh, okay. What about CeeLo Heights?
None. Well,
Spit
Rocky
Light
Gardens?
no,
You
no.
can't take them though because it's not
Yeah,
their
exactly.
selectors.
Fucking good.
We only have one. It's not on here, but we only have one machine gun spam Stuart.
Good.
And we only have one Gurkha unit as well throughout the entire event.
Oh, now that's a bit surprising.
And it'll be really fun when that one Stuart spam list goes up against 2 17-pounders.
I've got Stuarts. Yeah, that's
Or
nice.
you know what? I cannot. We're a week and a half away at the time of recording, and I cannot fucking wait for this tournament. It's going to be so much fun.
It's gonna be
Okay.
great.
I've got 2 questions now.
Yep.
LMGs.
Okay.
So, bearing in mind,
Oh,
players
loads.
In
players-
squads.
players
Per
are
list?
players are getting them for free if they players are getting them for free if they take a full man
strength.
squad. Yeah. So let's do free. Let's firstly do how many overall ones are they? How many LMGs are in this tournament?
Let's see. Average of 2 a list. 23 lists. So there's no 26 players, isn't there?
25.
25
50
is
LM.
submitted. Yeah.
50 LMGs.
I'm gonna go 45.
I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go with 63.
Dan, you are literally on the nose exactly. The average
Boo!
is, the average is 2 and 50 lists were taken and 50 LMGs were taken.
Wow.
Can we just take a
Wow.
moment to think about that? 50 light machine guns in a
Can
competitive tournament.
we say, we've been to a lot of
That's-
tournaments recently this year. I haven't seen one in a squad at a tournament.
No.
That is
Yeah,
amazing.
I love it.
Remember-
World War II infantry tactics are based around machine guns, and at the minute, bolt action does not do machine guns very well.
And out of
I think
that,
that rule is awesome.
only 2 of them did people actually pay for them.
Wow.
That is,
That says
so that's
everything.
50,
That
so that's
means that
48
there's-
full-man squads.
48 full-man squads makes me smile.
So, and there's more because not every squad is even eligible for an LMG. Things like the American players and their certain Soviet units can't take LMGs. So,
And certain inexperienced German units as well.
yeah.
Do you know what I will say on that point though? With 50 LMG, I don't know if we should start a new hashtag trend for the juggers and historically accurate. What do you reckon?
More accurate than other
It's
places.
ironic, isn't it, that our tournament is, in theory, should appeal to the historical crowd because everyone's
We've got a
shit.
fuck ton of tigers and loads of LMGs. Fuck you, historical twats.
They're in a way that they're good to take and they're good to add into your unit.
They're brilliant to take. It's just that you don't want to pay the way you have to at the minute. They should be free for a full squad. Imagine your full squad being deployed to the front line. They would have this equipment to start with.
The only
This is what we're representing.
I've had to deal with so many fucking American players. Can I have my BARs for free, please?
No,
your BAR's cheap, you little bastard. Get on.
bars are broken anyway.
BARs are not a fucking problem. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is,
It's not like you never see a bar in an American army, is it? Oh no, wait, you see 50 in one army.
No, Dan, you don't see a bar. You see many.
That's it.
So 8 lists without any LMGs at all.
So on that LMG point,
Mhm.
the thing is, would you take them in normal bolt action if the points cost would drop? So it's maybe a bit more worth it.
If they were free like we do it, having a full 10-man squad, for instance, gets you so many benefits. It gives you the strength in numbers. It gives you the re-roll for being a full 10-man squad. And if you're getting an LMG for free, everyone would take them, as you can see by the figures that Topher's put out.
Also remember is that it stops min-maxing.
Yeah.
People whinge when people take nothing but the bare minimum to get all the good stuff. Well, if you give them a reward for taking things at full strength, suddenly armies look like armies, which sounds like a really weird thing to say, but you know when you see those really weird lists, you go, well, that looks just weird. It's just like a collection of units. It's not a platoon. Well, I've seen pictures of the list these guys are building. They look like platoons.
Yeah.
And
they look like real
another thing for
cohesive
me,
forces.
The LMG, if I was to pay for it, I would want to pay a max of 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because unlike the bar that's got move and fire because it's in the American list mainly, the LMG has some drawbacks. So despite it only being 5 points more for I think twice as many shots, you've got enough drawback in there to go hang on.
Kind of interestingly, some of the German lists, you know, because a lot of the German lists can buy 2 LMGs per squad. They've taken full man squads, brought the first LMG for free, and then paid for the second, which means that one squad's got a hell of a lot of firepower, and they're not paying through the nose for it. Like
that's 10 shots off of 4 models.
I mean, at that point, I understand paying the 20 points because at that point you're getting your returns back.
Yeah.
When your squad's pumping out when you get an infantry squad that pumps out as many shots as a fucking machine guns do it for half.
18 shots for that 10-man squad, isn't it?
Yeah. LMGs are back, baby. Play Juggernaut Selector. LMGs are back. But before we move on, though, the list with the highest amount of LMGs, how many did they have?
Just on infantry or included on tanks as well?
Infantry only.
8.
7.
No.
High.
10.
6.
I reckon someone's gone 5 with double everything.
8. No, Gaz has it. It's 8.
Gaz.
8 LMGs are in one list. And it is
day.
German, so it's more like 10. Shots.
Is that double? Is that 4 Schutzen squads?
No, it's a bit of everything. So that he's got 2 veteran double LMG squads, and then he's got a few like single LMG squads. So
That's a nasty man right there.
Yeah.
that man don't like you.
Let's go on to slot point spend. So this section is obviously we said you can spend your slot points to buy extra slots. So you could buy you had 5 points. You could do things. You could buy extra squads, extra officers, extra MMGs, extra flamethrowers, extra armored cars, extra snipers, mortars, anti-tank rifles and bazookas and stuff, artillery, extra tanks, extra forward artillery observers, and you could also pay them to have your special units, which are engineers with flamethrowers, scouts, so like forward deployed like native irregulars, multiple rocket launchers, and big HE. So big HE would be things like heavy howitzers and medium howitzers. So, spoilers, because we know there's 3 multiple rocket launchers, we know that 3 people spent points on to get those multiple rocket launchers.
Yep.
For HE, we knew there was at least 4 medium howitzers, so when I say 5 people spent, there was 1 heavy as well, so 5 people spent on big HE, that's not much fun to then point that out. So if we work our way back, how many people spent points to get scout squads in their army?
Oh, for deploying squads.
For deploying squads, yeah. Not for deploying things like spotters and teams, they have to be like full squads. So we're talking
Yeah.
like native irregulars.
Yeah.
2 people.
No, as in oh yeah, people, yeah.
Well,
You're doing
you
it
said
people.
how many
Yeah,
people
yeah,
did
let's
it?
let's do people, let's do people.
All
I
right.
think 2 people did it.
So, I'm going to go with Dan's 2 people now, but I'm going to have a caveat of this, that out of those, in those 2 people, there's 3 squads.
Ooh.
Okay, I'll go 2 and 5.
I'm going to say 3 squads.
Okay, 8 squads, 4 people.
Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good shout.
That is a lot more than I thought would take, actually.
Well, I mean, so 1 person's got 1, 2 people have 2, and then 1 person's got 3 squads, of which that is Russell with his 3 native irregular squads and his
Yeah.
LMG Stuart, you cheesy git.
Oh. I think the native regs can get for the free LMG if they're 10
Yeah.
men's one, can't they?
Mm.
Yeah, that's.
They don't
that's
have
so-
access to an LMG.
Oh, that's alright.
Engineers.
Mine is 10 man.
How many people spent points on getting more engineer squads? Specifically with flamethrowers, so like pioneers and stuff.
4 people, 4 squads.
1 person, 2 squads.
1 person, 1 squad.
2 people, 3 squads.
Oh,
So not actually that, but I thought this would be really popular. I thought
Yeah.
you'd have people paying loads for these, but no, we've only got. So,
Especially with the amount of German players there are.
yeah. But
I think
guess
the
they're all
German
focused on
players have
LMGs
spent
and
their-
Tigers, aren't they? No time for
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Spend the
obviously.
points on the Tigers.
Yeah.
I guess the Flamer squads will never get there when you're 10 man chucking out more shots than an American army.
Oh, here's a fun one. Tanks.
Ooh, additional tank.
As in buying the second,
As in
yeah.
buying the second tank. How many people brought a second tank?
13.
That's not a bad shout, actually. So we've got 26 players. I'm going to go 10, I reckon.
6 people.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, it's only 6. I mean, that is so. This represents the most slot points spent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're worth 3 each, aren't they?
Yeah. Overall, yeah. So 6 people took a double tank. So yeah, I would have thought that could have been a potentially more popular one, and that was the most popular. So extra artillery. So this would be a second anti-tank gun or a second howitzer.
Ooh,
A second one.
7.
Including the anti-tank guns.
Yep.
So we know there's 3 double 17
Oh,
pounders.
does this include the free guns?
So like the Belgians
No,
and the
no,
French
no,
get.
No.
Okay, so
This is
it's
specifically
7.
the slot, not the gun.
Yeah, oh, I'm in with 7.
I'm going to go 5. I don't think there's that many.
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah.
It's 5. AT teams, so Panzerschrecks, anti-tank rifles, bazookas.
3.
I think. I don't know. People should be bringing Panzerschrecks to deal with the tanks, shouldn't they? But I reckon you're probably going to get.
3. But
I
there
reckon
should be
probably.
12.
I reckon 2.
Well, one person spent it twice.
Oh, really?
So
Wow!
one person
To
brought
bring
2
3
extra-
Fiats.
Well, no, he's it was Grimes with his Russians, so he brought
3 anti-tank
rifles. So
Oh,
we
no, he's
brought
brought those flamethrower things, didn't he?
no, he's brought 3 implements, and then he
Yeah, the
spent
ones that
4
set
slot
people on
points to,
fire.
to buy 2 extra AT rifles.
Okay, now.
You know what? It's going to upset somebody those ampulaments, don't you?
Mm.
Bang!
when
You're
it-
on fire. You ran away. Your
Yeah,
tiger's
when he
dead.
plays the double tiger list, it's. Yeah.
Burn, motherfucker!
Burn with me.
Okay, mortars.
4. I don't think this is that popular.
11.
It should be popular, shouldn't it? If you think of
Yeah.
how good mortars are. So only 2.
Only 2 mortars.
Only, yeah.
2
Only
additional mortars.
Okay, now.
2 people brought an additional mortar after the first. For bearing in mind how popular mortars were, When we,
Yeah.
look, they were proper up there in terms of units spent. There was 16 throughout the entire tournament. 64%
Yeah, but
of players had one.
I think the choice is if I could have my mortar and a bunch of dudes, or I could have my tiger. You want the tiger?
Yeah. If it's mortar and P4 or tiger, you may as well just go for the big bad boy, aren't you?
So everyone had 5 slot points. It cost 2 slot points to get a second mortar. Now, 2's probably a bit much, but 1's definitely too cheap.
Yeah.
So
I think 2 slot points for the heavy and maybe 1 for the others.
maybe. Who knows?
But
Yeah,
we'll learn
I
for
don't want
next
to play
time.
someone who's brought bloody 6 medium mortars.
You will if you played 6 snipers.
Well, speaking
Easy
of,
kills,
speaking of
GG.
snipers, they were 2 slot points, and no one brought any double snipers, as we've discussed. No one brought extra.
No one.
No,
Sure.
no. Flamethrower teams, again, we already know that's not particularly popular.
Are we talking about a slot point spent on flamethrower teams?
Well, how many people brought an extra flamethrower slot?
Probably 2 people.
One.
One.
It's just one.
Yeah, Pete's got it. It's 1.
Is that just Luke, is it?
Juggernaut Luke, yeah. He's the only person to buy a second flamethrower. Again, would have thought it's more popular. Oh well.
How many? It's
2
a bit
points per
shocking,
flamethrower
really, isn't it?
team.
Yeah.
I mean, more people opted to just take a second engineer squad because it was the same points. For the 2 slot points, you could either buy a flamethrower team or an engineer squad.
Yeah, the bodies is better, isn't it? Plus, maybe the engineers can. Oh, they can't take 10 men, can they? The engineers.
Some can. Soviets
Oh, can they?
They can go full strength and take an energy
So
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, if they've spent the points on the engineers, maybe they've done it to get the as well.
That's a
Then
fucking
you
expensive
double hit,
engineer
aren't
unit.
you? Not if you're getting it for free.
I guess. MMG teams? Zero.
None.
None.
Can I just say, the MMG teams, it was only 1 slot point per medium machine gun team, and still they were really unpopular.
Yeah.
You know what, we fixed
I can see
LMGs,
why.
guys. We need to fix machine gun teams next. Medium machine gun teams.
I think just 1 for free in every army.
They definitely need fixing.
Even then, they won't fucking bring them.
Yeah, we'll think about that one for next time. Officer, how many people paid for a second officer?
0.
None.
One.
2.
Oh.
2
Oh, wait,
people
Luke's got a second officer.
Luke's got a second officer, and Mr. Martin Knowles also brought a second officer.
Okay, now.
So I guess, when you bring in big, inexperienced hordes, you want to spread out the love. But yeah, I didn't think anyone would spend on there.
Yeah. Interesting thing that we came up with the other day as well. This is to the listener. We need you guys to weigh in on this. If we're doing another tournament with the Jugger Selector, would you prefer to see a HQ option as, do you just want to bring a HQ? So you can bring a first, second LT, or a captain, or a major. That is your guy to lead the force and not have to pay any points for it. Because we're thinking if you do that, we might actually see some captains and majors for the first time ever in a game.
Really useful with your inexperienced hordes, especially Chinese nationalist captains, because they get a free bodyguard that can then dodge sniper bullets.
Yeah.
You mean we'd see some Chinese, which aren't communist?
Well, I could talk about an entire podcast on why you should take nationalists over communists, but
But Sparrow tactics.
But no, captains. I really, really enjoy captains because the problem is you've got to be careful it isn't turned into a game of 40k at that point. Because you just go, I'm going to snap to my entire fucking army.
But would you like that option though? Say because captains we know are expensive. Would you like that option to say, I'm not taking a first LT. Going to take a major or a captain. Fuck it. I'm going to blow all my beans at once and see what happens.
Give that a go, especially with my Chinese.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's
we can
still
test it out
sniper
if
bait,
people
isn't
want
it?
to see it.
It is sniper
Yeah.
bait, yeah. But that's the risk you take, isn't it? You run the risk of getting shot by a double sniper or having your whole army go first.
I mean, your major's still going to be 150 points into. All you're doing
It
is
is
not
extortionate,
having to
yeah.
pay the lieutenant tax. That's all.
Yeah.
It's
I've only ever seen a major in one game, and I'm pretty certain it was that. You remember that massive game we had at Foundry?
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure
That was
we
me!
bought a major.
It was me.
Yeah.
Because I brought a major, a couple second LT, a first LT, and 100 Volks Grenadiers.
Maybe if we did it, you can take any of the 4, HQ models as your leader. But if you take a captain or a major, you get the bodyguard rule, 1 attendant, and that way you might survive a first shot.
No, you still wouldn't with a sniper. You choose to kill the major and leave his.
Well, no, that's what the
then go
bodyguard
up.
rule is when you get shot,
Bodyguard, yeah.
you remove the bodyguard first.
Okay.
That's taken away one of the biggest things for Chinese. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Finally. So the final extra thing you could spend your points on was taking extra squads. So the platoon selector as normal would allow you to take 5. Obviously, we weren't allowing people to take double platoon. Therefore, if you wanted extra squads, you'd have to buy your extra squads to hoard up. How many people brought extra?
8, I reckon.
13.
It's about 5.
Oh, 3.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. And 2 of those people brought 2 extra squads each. So 5 points were spent on extra squads.
So was that the Soviet player?
No. 1 partisan player, 1 Axis player, and 1 United States player. No Soviets.
That's interesting to me, because
Yeah.
that's the most powerful thing about that slot point for me. An additional infantry. Awesome.
I'm surprised the Americans took it, considering the toys that they can spend their points on in terms of getting double Sherman howitzers and
That's
stuff.
the thing, isn't it? Most people you don't double platoon up to take extra squads normally. You double platoon because you want to take all your toys, don't you?
Yeah.
How rare is it that you have to double platoon because you've brought too much infantry? Like,
I
it'd
know.
be nice to see more of it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Mind you, if you're spending your slot points to get more infantry to get free LMGs, it's probably worth it quite a bit.
Well, that's what Justin did with his Germans. He's the person who brought all 8 LMGs. He spent 2 slot points on extra squads, so he's literally just gone, I can take LMGs, and that's what he's done.
Yeah.
So if he wins, not one step back, we can officially go. We made LMGs great again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Warlord.
Okay, so final one. On average, how many slot points did each player spend? Bearing in mind it was 5 per player.
4. Straight in there.
3.5-ish.
You can't spend a half a point. It's 4.
Well, if you average it out, you can get half. But I reckon
Toast mass,
3.
it's 4.
Gaz?
He's gone.
Gaz says 2. No, he probably says 5, to be honest with Gaz.
No, Gaz says 3 on the chat. Sorry, guys. Gaz is having mic problems like a twat.
Oh, for fuck's sake. What is it with the 4th
Budget
host?
Sheffield.
What
I
is
don't
it with
know.
the 4th host?
I think they are forever cursed.
Budget Sheffield.
The average is 3 slot points per player.
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
So here's the
Because
thing.
you think about it, it's either one big toy or a couple of little ones, isn't it, that you usually take?
Yeah, I mean, my favourite thing when I was messing about with list selection is I'd buy like lots of armoured cars. They were kind of a good one, so there'd be 2 points per slot, so I'd take like 2 armoured cars, so I'd generally spend 4 points myself. So yeah, out of the 3 slot point average, 5 players didn't spend any slot points at all.
That's
Mad
mental.
lads.
Wow.
That is mental.
Those people I don't think particularly read the pack.
Either that or they've gone, fuck it, we can take LMGs and Tigers for cheaper and free, so let's just do that anyway.
You say that on average,
Yeah.
they only brought 3 LMGs a player,
Yeah.
and only one of them brought a heavy tank.
Incidentally, the list that I would have ran for a laugh at our own event would have taken 3 slot points.
And can I just say, both players that brought an MMG also spent 0 slot points.
Oh!
So they definitely don't give a shit.
They're playing the game on hard mode.
So yeah,
If the US are easy mode, they're on hard mode.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask the players on the day. Is this because they just generally didn't give a fuck, or is it because they didn't read the pack, or is it because they're going, these are the only models I've got, so these are the one I use? Because to me,
It may be that last one.
to me, the selling point is the slot points, the fact that you can basically build your own theatre selector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's my last.
Wow.
I'm at the end of my spreadsheet anyway. Is there anything else you want to know?
Yeah, so I was very surprised we only got one Japanese list since you could create a what I would call a for the horde list, which includes 90 spear fighters. You can do it.
Yeah, you could have done that.
Russell's list is pretty filth.
It's probably the same as his WTC
Russell
list.
has
Now we've gone through that.
No, Russell has constructed a new list based on his own maths. That's why it contains a machine gun steward, native irregulars, and it contains 2 mortars, because the man has gone, this is statistically the best wit list to take to win. It'll be interesting to see if it works.
Just another interesting WTC fact. My WTC list with my 4 flamethrowers in for my Americans is legal at the Juggernaut tournament. It fits the Jugger selector perfectly with 5 selector points.
You know my Soviet one is like 15 slot points.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's fucking horrendous. Once you add in
Jesus.
like both snipers, both Katyushas, both heavy howitzers.
It's almost like Stalingrad is the most broken bullshit out there.
It's almost like we've tried to fix it specifically because of the bullshit.
Yeah.
What's my new favourite? New to use army slot points. 9. The Battle of Tarawa Naval Landing Force selector, if you tried making it with a Juggernaut selector, is 9 slot points.
Ooh.
Because it's got 2 additional snipers, 1 additional mortar,
I dread to think what my market garden one would be.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, it's probably up there with Toast Stalingrad one.
So, Gaz, after having submitted like 15 lists, how do you feel having seen what it looks like?
So the list that I really wanted to take, because I was playing around with a few ideas and ended up like wanting to do this Luftwaffe sort of airfield defense force.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the reason is that I haven't been able to finish painting is because I'm having to do some extra work. But it was 2 tanks, 2 88s, and then a Fallschirmjäger. But obviously, I'm going to get some stick from half the podcast on this one, half the crew, because I was taking 2 FT-17s out the new D-Day book.
because they're shit.
They're not shit.
FT-17s are shit.
Shut up, Pete. You don't know anything.
I've got a question. Do they get the German machine gun rule?
So
yeah, they're fucking BS.
Here's the big thing. It doesn't say that they don't get the German machine gun rule. So yeah, they get it, and obviously I was pairing that off with 2 88s.
So what we're getting
Which
here,
got
you
better
lost
than
every game with that
17.
list.
Yeah, I was looking forward to playing that, but then I had to fall back on I've fallen back on some British list. I've just taken a bunch of commandos and just going to have a bit of a laugh with it. I think my church.
By laugh, you mean lose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good lad.
There we go. Anyway, guys. So next episode we'll report back for Not One Step Back and let you know how it all get on. But we're very excited.
I'm well excited.
Okay.
And for people that are going, please let us know on the day what you think worked well and what didn't, and what you'd like to see changed. Because obviously we want to build this to be the next Cambridge Too Far and get to 50, 75, 100 players, be the biggest there is.
Oh man, that sounds like work.
I know.
Can't just people use our selector and do it themselves.
Nah. So to all the players going that will want, there will be a form given out either at the start or the end of the last game for you to just quickly run down your rating.
Yeah.
So we'll be reviewing our own tournament next month with the Juggernaut system based on feedback we get from players. So make sure you give TO a 5 out of 5 for being absolutely astonishingly handsome. Yeah.
If you don't, you might not win.
Yeah. Bring out your filth.
Bring out your filth.
Not you guys. Yours is not filth.
Absolutely not filth.
None for you.
No. So what we're going to do this section, guys, is because we've got all the lists in apart from one, Topher has kindly copied them all onto a Word document and listed them all out nice and neatly. So we're just going to pick some of our more interesting lists to look at and just give them a quick discussion. So it's probably not so much bring out your filth as in bring out your moderately historically themed lists that sound cool.
Let's examine other people's filth.
Yeah. It's not.
When you're in
Mine's not a snappy title though, is it?
When you're in the hospital and you have a shit in the bedpan, and then the nurses take it away and just examine it. That's what we're doing. We're just having a quick look at the shit.
I told you're not allowed to shit in the bedpan when you're visiting.
Interesting Topher fact. I used to work in the NHS in the pathology labs, and my job was to examine the shit. I kid you not. That was my fucking job.
You got paid to look at other people's
I'd
shit.
go in the lab, I'd get my lab coat on, I'd sit there, and there'd just be a giant pile of like tubes with shit in them, and I'd have to go through, get my swab in, pull it out, and then just do it on the agar plate. It's fucking horrendous. You know why? Because no one's shit gets examined if it's a nice shit. No, it's always if it's a fucking disgusting shit. That's when they we best get Topher to have a look at it. Fucking disgusting, man.
Did it smell, mate?
Mate, it's fucking disgusting. You know when, like, especially on Monday, when the shit was taken on a fucking Friday, and it's been fucking in they're waiting for
fermenting.
Yeah.
Brewing.
And then you open it, and the pressure equalizer fucking goes everywhere, all over the lab. It's fucking gross.
So did you ever get somebody who's maybe had a little too much fun in the hospital / been done up the arse and then shat it all out?
Okay, this is a new low for us.
That was seriously your
I mean,
question.
I'm fully in.
Pete's first question was, "Hey Toph, have you had post-anal rapage poo?"
It's not rapage if they say yes.
How would you know? It's just poo.
Don't know. You're the one that was examining it.
Yeah, it's for fucking bacteria, not for rape.
Anyway, before we get shut down, so I'm going to start this section off because the other two are too busy talking about bumming poos.
I guarantee we're going to get comments about this for next week. We're going to have to deal with this
Definitely.
All I can say is we're full of shit.
Guys, it's been many years since my degree. I've forgotten everything. Please don't ask me about poo. Go and talk to your doctor. Thank you.
Right. So, friend of the cast, Russell, his son is coming to Not One Step Back, and he is bringing a German list. And I've picked this one out because it is a bit of everything that we love here at the podcast. So, quick rundown of the list: regular second LT, 10 vet Panzer Grenadiers with 2 Panzerfausts and a free LMG, and he's got that twice, so 20 vets in total for that. 2 10-man regular Strafe Battalion squads, 5 veteran Field Jaeger Corps with a free LMG. So the Field Jaeger Corps are the ones that make the Strafe Battalion not shirkers, right?
Yeah, and he's paid for his LMG on the 5-man squad there.
Yes. So he's basically got 2 10-man Strafe Battalion squads. So as long as they stay within 6 of the Field Jaeger Corps at the start of the turn, they are not they're not shirkers anymore, and they act as normal. So you don't have to take the test for them when they've not got pins on them. Next thing, he's got an Inex medium mortar just to sit at the back and ruin 17-pounders' lives. He's got 1 inexperienced Nebelwerfer. He's got 1 inexperienced Howling Cow. So he's paid 4 slot points for both of them.
That's brutal.
It is really brutal, yeah. The one thing I would say is because of the lower dice count, because of the bigger squads that we're getting, I'm not sure how useful they're going to be. But if you get a couple of hits in a go, you could pin quite a lot of dudes. So they are still worth taking.
Smoke, man, for all the fucking 17-pounders, throw smoke
Oh,
out.
yeah, I didn't think of that.
Just two Nebelwerfers and a Tiger to throw out a lot of smoke in one turn if you really need to just...
And the mortar as well, yeah. So he's taking a regular BMW R75 bike, which is probably our favourite unit here on the cast. It's just so good for its points. And then 1 fuel shortage Tiger with a Pintel MMG. And for any of you guys that aren't that are listening but aren't coming to the day or haven't looked at our selector yet with the special rules, a fuel shortage Tiger with a Pintel MMG is 271 points. So there is literally no reason not to take it.
So cheap. So cheap.
But
2 10-man
remember-
veteran squads
and a fucking tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we're looking down this list, the strengths of this list, the Field Jaeger Corps matched with Strath Battalion, it's a brilliant little combo that is. To make them not shirkers, to get them acting properly is fantastic. Having 25 veterans, brilliant. Having 5 LMGs, 4 of which are free, so you've basically got 80 points worth of equipment there for free, is fantastic. And then the double multiple launchers is just fantastic as well. We love a multiple launcher here. It'll be interesting to see how they perform with our new medium mortar rather than heavy mortar rules, but really excited to see this list. Plus a fuel shortage tiger as turn 1 fine.
That looks very, very interesting. And it doesn't look over the top either.
No,
Like,
it's
it
11
look...
dice. Not, there's not 50 million men on the table that are all veteran tough fighter Gurkha twats. His artillery is not stupidly overpowered, so he's not gone, double flak 88 or anything like that. And the tiger is fuel shortage, so on a roll of a 1 after an advance or a run move, you could run out of fuel, but which immobilizes you. But once you're in place, you don't really care.
You just need to make sure you know where you're going.
Yeah, point it at an objective. If you're immobilized, who gives a fuck?
And remember, listeners, that tiger is not throwing tiger fear around like it normally would. So it's not
that's a really good point.
Being that cheap.
Yeah.
But the points saved on that tiger for us do get him the 2 Strathbat squads, the extra Howling Cow and the R75 bike.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Since we removed the Tiger Fear rule and gave all the heavy tanks a discount, you know what you're not seeing anywhere? Panzer IV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
The P4s are just nowhere to be seen.
It's almost like it's not worth it if it doesn't have
Well,
Tiger Fear.
this tiger has got a much bigger gun, much heavier armor, and it's only 35 points more than the regular P4.
With extra guns, it's got the pintle
with extra guns, yeah. So I mean, if you take it without the pintle, it's 255-ish. So only 25 points more than a P4. It's no comparison, really, is it?
Got to be careful firing that pintle mount, though.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't need to fire. It's just there as if everything else is already gone. It's kind of like extra little bit.
Yeah.
15 points, you'd be stupid not to when you spent that much points on like a tank.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, true. But yeah, that was my interesting list. I just love the synergy in squads, and I love a fuel shortage tiger, because who doesn't love immobilizing themselves behind heavy cover where you can't see anything?
Sean, get good at not rolling ones. That's what you need to
Get
practice
very
on.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Remember,
don't roll those ones.
This isn't 40k. You're not allowed command points.
No re-rolls.
Yeah.
So this next list is one of my mates, James Hilton Scott. We are currently 1-1 on games from various tournaments.
Grudge.
Oh shit! No, I don't want to play this list. Fuck.
Too late. It's already been called out.
Got ya.
Sort it out, Pete.
So,
Got ya.
this list is, I think, really fun and taking the uber heavy tanks to heart. So it's it's German, regular second lieutenant or lieutenant, should I say? A veteran medic, 6 grenadiers.
Why? A medic?
6 regular grenadiers with assault rifle, SMG, and 4 Panzerfaust, as if he didn't have enough shots from his other guns. 6 regular grenadiers with LMGs. Now, I did message him, and I said, "Dude, do you want me to do you a favor?" He said, "What's that?" I was like, "Don't take a regular squad because of the Juggernaut selector. Take a Scherzen squad and you get the LMG for free. You save them 20 points. Bin the medic off and you've got 50 points to spend on another unit." But it doesn't matter. So yeah, 6 regular grenadiers with a LMG, regular sniper. So got a sniper in there. Then here's the fun bits: a regular Panther with a pintle-mounted MMG and a regular Sturm Tiger.
How much is that Sturm Tiger, Gaz?
Standby. So it's 7 dice in total. That Sturm Tiger with the discount is 330 points.
Wow.
Mate, when you think that a
Fuckers.
Brumbar's 300 points, for
I
30
know.
points more you can upgrade it to a fucking Sturm Tiger. I think
But
it's all...
I like if I come up against that and I'm not going anywhere near any fucking building.
It's also worth noting that you only get discount for one heavy tank if you're taking multiple, so he doesn't get the Sturm Tiger discount and then the Panther discount. So obviously he's taking it on the Sturm Tiger because it's a super heavy. It's a bigger discount than it would be on the Panther. But I just love that list for fucking balls. I hope he needs to learn to keep his fucking Grenadiers in reserve though, because they're going to be target number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep Grenadiers in reserve, fuck shit up with your tanks, and then just come on at the end of the game when nothing's left.
Yeah.
There's one of our missions where there's like a fight over a central objective. Imagine the Panther and Sturm Tiger just sitting on ambush waiting for the enemy's infantry to walk onto it.
You can practice this objective if you want, but I have got a Sturm Tiger here on ambush. So...
Yeah. Kablamo!
And when I hit you and I do fail to wound you, I can re-roll that because I'm a Sturm Tiger.
Yeah.
Oh, absolute beast.
Is your squad dead yet? Achoo.
I don't know if he'll do very well because there's a lot of like AT that can take out those tanks. But I wish him all the luck in the world.
The thing is, if those Panther and Stern Tiger can get their shots off before the enemy and can destroy the AT, they're basically untouchable. They're just going to waltz around the battlefield, just going, "Fuck it, you dead yet? Fuck it, you dead yet?" It's great.
Is the Sturm Tiger slow?
Don't think so.
No.
I'm not sure.
Fucking
It
should be.
Yeah.
Is it slow? No, it's not. Unlike
Does it
every
even-
French
does it even-
tank
does it
ever,
even
it's
have the
not
slow
slow.
load rule.
I think so.
I was gonna say it
I think
deserves
so.
the slow
First
road.
dice.
The slow road rule.
What?
Yeah.
Well, there's the Sturm Tiger barrel at Bovington. You just look down the fucking barrel. It's just enormous. It's insane.
You can crawl down that one, can't you?
I think I could have squeezed into it.
Gas can,
Yeah,
the
that's
size
the-
of a fucking twig.
That's the one I pointed out that you could actually just quite happily sleep in because it was
Yeah.
massive.
It's funny that the Germans' idea was that they would have the Sturm Tiger and then you'd have a second Sturm Tiger following the first Sturm Tiger, which his only job was to carry ammo. And then there was a crane on the Sturm Tiger to help load it, which they could only do by getting out of the tank. Oh, it's so shitty.
Sturm Tiger is not slow. Sturm Tiger does not have slow to load.
Oh my god.
Why does that not have slow to load when the IS-2 does? The fuck is that?
Because no one's ever taken one.
You know what? On the day when I'm going around with a little camera, taking pictures and doing recordings and stuff for Facebook, I'm just gonna be following James around. What you doing, James? What you Sturm Tiger, James? What you doing?
Whilst we're talking about slow tanks, can we give a shout out to Ian, who is bringing a Char B1, or is it a Char C?
He's bringing
Char
the big
Char
tank.
2C.
Char 2C, which is so fat, 8 inches long, and it is slow, so it can't actually advance onto the board in a single move. So it has to move on and then pivot facing the wrong way, and then next turn back the way it wants to go and carry on. Fucking useless.
It's a great meat shield, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's a massive
great.
wall.
If you don't have heavy cover and you're playing French, bring a Char, deploy it where you need it.
Where do I need my wall? There. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's James's list. Who's next?
that's great.
It's me, and I picked this one out because the infantry in it are going to absolutely shred everybody. But I also noticed that the entire list is veteran, minus 1 unit. Now that's a lot of veteran dudes to get rid of for a start. So I'm going to work up backwards. It starts with a veteran 25-pounder with a spotter, veteran sniper, veteran Piat, veteran heavy mortar with spotter.
That's a medium.
Medium.
Not for those points.
It's a veteran.
It's vet. It's vet. It's 65 points vet.
Plus
Oh
star.
yeah, veteran medium mortar with spotter, veteran MMG team. All right, lost his mind a little.
Loser.
6 veteran Australian commandos. Now that's a unit that comes in one of the extra books. Now I'm going to skip over the fun bits. The veteran first lieutenant. I don't know why it's a first lieutenant, but okay. Free artillery observer, the only regular thing in the list, and then 3 units of 10 veteran Chindits with LMG. That's horrendous.
That's a lot of shots without any penalties.
So
That is 30 super US dudes.
Yeah.
so Chindits are like Brits that can move and fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
With
But
LMG.
unlike Americans, it applies to all of their weapons as well, not just
And
rifles.
he's gone rapid fire to get the extra rifle shots as well.
Yeah.
Holy
this,
crap.
This squad can move and shoot with, 10, 14, about 17
14.
shots. Well, no,
14 shots.
it'll be 10 plus the rapid fire, which is an extra 3. Minus
That
1
one
for the
the
LMG.
LMG.
No,
Yeah,
won't.
plus 4 for the LMG.
It'll be 4 for the LMG. He's got
Yeah.
a buddy. That leaves 8. 8 dudes, 2 extra for the rapid fire.
16 shots.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, 14 shots.
4.
But suffering no movement penalties and having 3
Oh.
squads of them is just
And all being
horrendous.
veteran, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
And that's
Americans
probably-
don't get free LMGs.
yeah. And that's
That's
probably why
insane.
he's taking his vet LT and first LT just to make sure he can snap them. But also, if they do ever take a pin, they're not going to give a fuck. They're going to be walking around like there's nothing happening.
I mean, against infantry, he's going to actually absolutely shred him. But when he's only got
Yeah.
a Piat and a 25-pounder, I see a lot of tanks.
Put him against the
Still more
Stone Tiger
tank than
list.
Like, it looks very good, and I think if he goes up against any of the more kind of standard lists, he'll do very well. But I just
Yeah.
think if he comes up against a list with like a Tiger, with a player who knows what they're doing, it might not end well.
Well,
then again,
immediately
Crosshair
below this list on our list of fun to look at is Sam Wrightson. So we're not going to go over it dead in depth, but just that is the double Tiger list with 17 Volks Grenadiers, all with assault rifles. Those two would have a fucking whale of a game.
Nobody wins, but everyone has fun.
Yeah. It would just be like 1 Tiger versus 2 Chindits left.
Jesus. Yeah, that looks really fun. And I think that will do better in this tournament, ironically, than that would do in a normal tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The power of those Chindits is insane.
Yeah, and the free LMGs really help him.
Yeah.
That said, would he have been better to go Gurkhas? Am I saying that out
No.
loud? No.
No.
Really?
Nah. I
mean,
like the -1. Not suffering the -1s moving fire. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, but Gurkhas just come and kick the shit out of you.
Well,
Yeah, but you can see a Gurkha squad coming a mile off. The Chindits can walk away from them.
Yeah.
I think the Chindits would be better for our mission pack.
Yeah.
I think they've got more
Versatile
utility in our
infantry,
mission pack. Yeah.
We haven't even covered that. We'll cover that next episode, but we wrote new missions as well, because the ones out of the book are shit.
Yeah.
Section is
Shock
great,
horror.
don't know what you're on about.
Yeah, they're mainly objectives missions, which also have like victory points as a secondary. So you'll get like 5 victory points for like capturing an objective, but then 1 for killing a unit. So you can kind of pick which way you want to go.
Yeah.
in terms
Oh,
of how
and
to-
Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
Don't forget with the Chindits, they also ignore the -1 for coming on with outflank.
Oh yeah, shit. That's a good point.
Ugh.
They're Americans on steroids.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine them fuckers as a last-minute objective grabber? You ain't shifting that.
I'm gonna walk on, shoot you off the objective. This is now my objective. Go away.
Yeah.
Until they get hit with a Sturm Tiger round.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Right, so last list. So I've picked out Justin Donnelly's list for sheer just eye-blinking what moment when you see what he's created. This is a man who sat down, read the rules, and gone, right, here's what I'm going to do. So Justin's the one who, the last Cambridge, he took the Chinese list that managed to get the entire pack rewritten on the day because of him. So I expect great things
Oh.
from you, Justin. So he's brought he's playing Germans, he brought a regular second lieutenant. He's brought
Yeah.
4 regular Straff battalion squads, 10-man LMG Shirker. So the same squads that Sean's brought. So he's got 40 of the fuckers. And then he's brought 2 10-man veteran Feldjäger Corps squads, so they're the veteran squads that stop them being shirkers. Each one of them has 2 LMGs, and then he's got a 10-man vet grenadier squad with 2 LMGs and 4 Panzerfausts. And then he's got
Oh my god.
Then he's got a regular truck and 2 Panzer Ones. It's only 11 guys, but he's got 70 fucking dudes, of which 30 of them are veteran.
Yeah.
Christ.
And those.
I mean, he's gonna have a really boring game up against Sam, where he just needs to go down.
Each of those veteran squads is pumping out 18 shots a turn.
That's nuts.
Play that against the Chindit list. Fuck, that'd be amazing.
It would just be a massive firefight, wouldn't it? That's all it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we just found the bolt action leaf blower?
For LMG,
it is an anti-infantry list.
I mean, that's the thing. If he goes up against the tank, I mean, he has got 10. He
has got 4 Panzerfausts in one squad.
In the truck, yeah.
Take out that one squad and you can't do shit against the army.
So it's literally point at Tiger, drive towards Tiger, shoot Tiger, miss, die.
So to keep all those regulars moving, the shirkers, he needs to keep the Feldjäger Corps nearby to stop the shirker rule bit applying. But fuck me, how do you take out 20 vet dudes?
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Horrible.
The only thing I think he might struggle against is because he's got to keep bunched up to keep the guys moving, is the Nebelwerfers might hunt him.
Yeah.
But there's only 3 Nebelwerfers the entire tournament. He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I love that list. It's like, what the fuck are we looking at?
I know. It's going to be so good looking at it deployed on the board.
You know what? I'm looking at that going, start with those Strath battalions. All right. Play around with that a bit. Get some anti-tank into there instead of the double Panzer Ones, and you've got some really strong lists there.
Yeah. I mean, drop those 2 P1s for like a P3 maybe with a medium anti-tank gun. Just to give yourself a little bit of punch.
Yeah,
maybe an 88 is a good shot, yeah.
Sweet Jesus. I'm just doing the maths now. So, the infantry alone is 110 machine gun shots a turn. Once you add in the Panzer Ones, it's 134. So even if he's hitting on 7s, that's still like 5 hits a turn.
Jesus.
Sorry, 3.72 hits a turn if he's hitting on 7s.
That's a lot of shots.
Wow.
And let's be honest, because of the way we've set the missions going, he goes, finds an objective, sits on it, and laughs. And just laughs.
I was just thinking, you know, if I played him just in with my Polish, all he has to do is go and ambush, and my cavalry would just get absolutely fucking roasted.
I know.
Every gun an ambush.
Like,
you're gonna come at me, bro? No, I'm not gonna come at you.
I'm gonna get off this horse. I'm gonna sit down and just chill.
And then your tankette's just going, well, that's 2 infantry dead, only 68 to go.
My money's on Justin to not one step back. You can do it, bro, because he's got the skills behind it as well. So that's my money. That's my Topher bookie favourite. There we go.
I'd love to play up against Justin's list with a bloody bamboo horde.
Fuck me.
God damn.
How do you feel your shitty Churchill now, Gaz?
Oh, it's fucked, isn't it?
Your Churchill's gonna get charged by fucking 40 Strath battalion. Eat this.
Oh, I'll put it in there as a laugh, and I think he's going to get absolutely annihilated now.
Don't worry, Gaz, it's you. There's still time to change your list.
Gaz, you know you'll be having fun if you're playing me as the ringer on the last round against some horrendous list we concoct.
Oh,
Please
by
put
the
a-
way, guys,
please
we have decided that in the ringer list there will be a mouse. So just bear that in mind.
Oh,
Hey,
this is
we
a
fine,
terrible
We
tank.
want to have fun too.
Yeah, it may
Yeah.
be fuel shortage. We're not decided yet.
I reckon it should be
so
that.
bad.
I reckon
Veteran fuel
it should
shortage.
be an LT, 2 squads of 5 Ostruppen, and a veteran mouse. Not fuel shortage, just a veteran one.
My God.
Because that's how we do it here at the Juggernauts podcast.
That's how we roll.
And if you'd
Yeah.
like to listen to even more insane bullshit, come to Not One Step Back. Tickets still available. Depending
Now
on
that
you
you know
listen
what
to
to
this.
take.
Yeah, right. Shall we go on to the final segment? Okay, I've ran out of like accents to intro this section with. Dan, do you have anything you can do?
Yeah, just let me get into character, yeah? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mr. Blobby's Hobby Lobby with Vickers van der Merwe.
Fuck is that?
It's the guy from District 9.
Oh, fucking prawns.
He didn't have sex with those fucking prawns, all right? Now then, before we sully the good name of Mr. Blobby, how has everyone been getting on?
You've upset
By the
whole
way,
of
I
South
will
Africa
be
there.
doing this. I will be doing this for the entire segment, all right?
Oh dear.
Don't, I'll
Oh.
die. I'll fucking die.
It's been a
Okay.
very, very productive month.
I'll start then. We did a very big terrain drive, okay? That's not terrain like on the locomotives. That's terrain as in terrain for the boards, okay? I'm sorry, I can't do it.
So we got we ordered in a lot of terrain, and what was it? 2 weeks ago, it was just with us in a box, still unbuilt,
Yeah.
and now most of it's built and painted.
Yeah, apart from the last few things that Toph's got a snow flock, we're done.
Yeah, we had some mad hobby sessions. We got through all of the Lord of the Rings extended edition.
Yep.
It's basically we just decided to tell our families we've got more important things to do. We've got bolt action to prepare for. So we've been building and painting and sanding and spray painting.
You basically lived around mine for a few Sundays.
We ate a lot.
Basically,
We ate a lot of pizza.
We did.
Yeah.
So in terms of Hobby Lobby, I mean, I can't even remember. Wasn't my pledge just to paint a test model for my Polish, and I ended up painting the entire army?
I think you were going to do some cav with your contrasts, yeah.
Yeah. So going on about contrast, the contrast came out. I painted my Polish, and I can confirm contrast paints are really good. At least for me, they're good. Your mileage may vary.
Mm.
I think you're still a bit
Yeah.
about them, aren't you, Dan?
Yeah, tabletop standard to get them there quicker. Brilliant. Contrast is definitely the way to go. For me, I prefer the old method of doing it. I like the method of basing it, layering it how you want to, getting the washes on how you want them. I'm not 100% sold by contrast, but if you can see Toph's, I mean, check out our Facebook page with them on. They do look good when you're playing a game with them. I will give them that. They're for a closer scrutiny, they need a little bit work just to make them look brilliant. But I think that's just because you're painting them all in an afternoon.
The way I paint, the way I use contrast paints is I basically do my base coat and my layer and my base coat and my layer and my shade in a single coat.
Yeah.
So
It's
before
ideal for your style.
So where that would be 3 or 4 layers, it's one layer, and then all I've got to do is another layer or a highlight on top of that, and effectively done. So every stage, every color on my model becomes just 2 stages, one contrast, one highlight, which just makes it really quick. So in terms of quality, I wouldn't say they're necessarily any better than it was before, but in terms of how quickly I can churn them out, it's through.
I think they do look a little bit neater on the wash, because when you usually do it, you put the layer on, do a bit of highlight and hit everything with Agrax Earthshade, and you can get a little bit of pooling effect on some of the bits. And I think the contrast do make it a little bit neater doing the wash and the highlight, the wash and the base in one. So I will say that for them.
I was very excited about the contrast paints purely from a skeleton point of view for another system, and after using it on a test model, I'm well happy. Just bam, skeletons done in one wash, done.
I've also done it to paint ghosts in other systems as well, using the new Aethermatic Blue or whatever it's called, and that was really good.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, I mean,
bolt action.
Don't get me wrong. I am not knocking contrast paints. I think they have a place and they are really good at what they do. It's just if you want to win a Golden Demon or a Best Painted, a bigger tournament, I'm not sure they're the right way to go.
They're for painting
It's another
armies,
weapon
not models.
in your Batman utility belt.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You got your Batman, your utility belt is another weapon. But I
Yeah.
did actually write down the pledges from last month. So
good.
Toast smashed his because it was play around with contrast paints and do your Polish test.
Yeah.
Dan was going to base colour his Belgians, although
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, all 30 of all all my infantry are base coated. I have painted a bunch of horses, but I have not painted the riders to go on them. I've just base coated those as well. Again, I don't know what my pledge is going to be for this month because I don't know when I'm moving house and having to pack everything up. So I'm going to go light for this month, I think.
I was going to build a couple British units. Now, I managed at least one British unit, but then I had to help with all the terrain, and I've gone off on a tangent for that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think we all gave ourselves a pass quietly, didn't we? Brain with
Yeah.
build.
Well,
It's a quiet pass for the
when,
terrain.
When
so.
the terrain gets fucked about and it turns up later than anticipated, and then we have 3 weeks to paint, 13 balls worth of terrain.
Yeah.
The Hobby Lobby at that point, we got
Yeah.
shit to do. So I'm quite astonished that I actually managed to get my poles finished. That just proves how much contrast helps in terms of getting it done.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, definitely.
Sheffield, who's not here, was going to finish his SS Cav squad, but again, I think that's going to get dropped for terrain.
Yeah.
I'll also say, for the doubters, and I know it's probably for the best that Sheffy's not here because we might ruin his sanity at this point. But my Polish won a Best Painted Army award.
I know. I didn't want to give it to you.
They didn't win best painted. They won best army.
No,
Basically, best painted.
Best Painted.
I think they won it on the theme, really, because no one ever sees Cav.
At Paul's events, it's best army, it's best, and it's player's choice. So.
Look, man,
Well, I didn't fucking vote for it.
I know that the Juggernauts love to shit on Toph for Toph's shitty painting, and normally Toph deserves it because Toph's painting's pretty shitty. But my Polish look pretty damn alright, and in the smallest tournament I've been to in the last half decade, shut up.
So
I won Best Painted.
So I was the last player to give his player's choice vote into the TO Paul, and I was there going, I don't want to give it to Toph because it seems like favouritism, but I'm looking at the rest going, got to go to Toph.
Yeah.
I will say it does look a good army. It's a good cohesive army, and I think seeing all of the cavalry and the tankettes there is an interesting theme, and it does kind of catch your eye. So it is a good army to look at. It's just not best painted.
Salty. Dan is a salty shit because he doesn't win.
Dan, do you need some chips for your salt, mate?
Nah, I'm alright,
I'm
mate.
just going to bow down and accept that I'm the best painter on this podcast.
When are you going to bow down and accept that I'm the best player?
The moment it's not a draw.
Right. Tell that to your cavalry. Or are you still wiping their fucking entrails up from the ground?
Mate, I've been eating horse meat for weeks.
At least you won't starve.
You just need to focus more on your painting, obviously. And then you can be one day you can be like me.
You just need to get good.
The thing is, I don't want to be good because then if I became really good, then people would start hating on you instead of me, Dan. And I don't want to do that to you because you're my friend. So I'm willing
thanks, buddy.
I'm willing to be the second best player and therefore take all the hatred away from
you. Are my buddy guy. You are my guy, friend.
So another thing recently happened, which it's kind of forced my hand. So Toph went up to get his little award and went, well, there's nothing I want, and picked up a box and then threw the box at me, and well, it started something.
Are you about to go back on yourself, Pete?
Yeah, I'm about to go against my own bloody word and get like 1 billion bamboo spear fighters to play orcs in World War II.
Yay! First hit is free.
Yeah.
First hit is, here's 10. Wait, where'd you get 90 from?
I went up and looked at the prizes, and there's nothing. There's a couple of blisters, there's a tank. There's nothing I really need. If you looked in my garage, I've got half a fucking stock of Warlord games in there, so I don't really need anything. But I saw these bamboo spear fighters, and I saw Pete's little face, and I thought that man needs some stilt in his life. So I picked up the bamboo spear fighters, threw them at Pete, and told him to shut the fuck up and just take them.
So I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna regret that, aren't I?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
It's all good. Just spreading the love, dudes. Just spreading the love.
And hilariously, when I went up, it was like, well, yeah, there's nothing I want here at all. You know what? There's some US tank crew. Dan can have some US tank crew.
Shall we call Dan out for winning bolt action prizes and then using them to purchase a Blood Bowl team?
I've got a full Belgian army to paint. I don't need a British army as well.
We could have
That's
first
pussy
hit free
talk.
somebody with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have swapped it for a Blood Bowl team that I do need to paint, but it's fine. It's Nurgle. It takes about 3 seconds to paint, doesn't it?
Dip.
I know.
Yeah. So So Sheffy, because you'll be listening in, I just want you to know that I'm better at painting than you because I have
And Gaz.
and Gaz because I have more painting awards than both of you put together. So go fuck yourself, sir. Topher is the best. I'm going to regret this next episode, aren't I?
Yeah.
Worth it. Totally worth it.
Tune in next month for the rag of Sheffield ragging on sofa.
Couldn't give a fuck, mate.
So
Couldn't give a fuck.
the nice thing about the hobby over the past month, which has been all the buildings and things, because we've got so much done, it's just hit me in this rut of, I'm going to finish that. I'm going to do that. We got back from the tournament, and me and Toph had accidentally picked up each other's armies. Next day, I went up to Toast going, I need that because there's a tank in there I want to paint.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a kick up the arse, hasn't it? Because last month I didn't really do much, and having the terrain as a Kickstarter for us was really good, actually.
Yeah, I think we all get to the stage where we think about starting painting, and then we go, can't be asked because it's
You know what?
warmer.
This month I've actually wrangled in some slave labour as well. So because I can't be bothered to do other things at the minute apart from paint my Belgians, I've actually taught my missus how to build Nurgle Blood Bowl team.
That's really inappropriate after the South African accent, mate. You really need to sort yourself
Slave
out.
labour, South African accent.
She couldn't get enough of gluing together, yeah?
All right, Oscar, calm down. You don't want to Pistorius her off.
I know. Oh, God. So when it comes to putting base layers and stuff on in the future, she's got a job to do.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah.
So what we got planned for this month then? What's next month's pledge?
So I am going to pledge that I've currently got, I think it's 24 Belgian infantry that are coloured brown. I am going to finish those 24 dudes and put them on bases.
There weren't no brown Belgian people.
There are now, boy.
Did call up the fucking prawns.
No. Prawns are pink, yeah? This fucking dickhead over here.
Oh. What are you doing, Toph? What are you doing?
I've got some snow. Still got terrain to finish. So everyone else is finished, but I kind of promised to take like a third of the terrain away that we'd painted and make it snowy, which basically means I have to get lots of PVA glue, some white paint, lots of varnish, and all my snow powders, and basically winterize the terrain. It's only an afternoon or evening's work, but it's really messy. So I got to actually I can't just sit there at my desk doing it. I've got to kind of take over the kitchen and get shouted at by the wife. So that's in the next week. We've got to get that done before Not One Step Back. Also for Not One Step Back, DJ's coming, and I have loads of his shit to commission, and he's requested 3 of his units that I need to paint ready for that tournament. So I've got my fucking ass handed to me between now and next week. Also, work are going, can you come in on Saturday, please, and we'll pay you double time. I'm like, fuck's sake. So
I mean, it is double time. So
it is double time. So that's happening. After that, I'm not even going to look at a paintbrush. So that's me.
Nice. I've got my own jungle board to fix up, so at least it's fixed up enough. So if we have to use it, Not One Step Back, we can. And then I will probably sit down and build the rest of my British. Now I've got the random ass unit we're not painted kind of way.
You know, it's getting late.
Yeah.
It's getting tired. I just don't give a shit anymore because I just want to go home and dream about my best painted trophy. You know what I mean?
When you earn one properly, you can.
Oh. But yeah, so
It hurts because it's
watch
true.
this space. Watch this space. I'll probably be playing with the Brits hopefully sooner rather than later.
Are you going to finally play the morale rules of a game, Pete?
Yeah,
No,
it's gonna be
he's going
shocking.
up and at him.
Oh,
Easily
twat.
I'm not actually.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
I'm going to try out Vengeance for a laugh.
What he means to say, he's going to play Vengeance for one game and then go Indian and take 200 points worth of free shit like everyone else does.
Yeah, I didn't believe a word he just said either.
No. So what Vengeance does, right, is it helps ignore morale.
Oh, fucking hell.
Who needs to play morale in a game? I mean, fuck's
I
sake.
mean, if you're Indian, you get the reroll for morale if you run away. I mean, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, but being able to go, I'll just lose this pin and then I'll go and shoot you. It's great.
I suppose you're right.
Well, it might be shocking. I'll see how it works because it's not been used a lot. I don't think it's been used a lot in V2 at all. So I'd like to see how it plays.
With Chindits, it could be quite powerful.
Oh. Enemy within 12 Chindits on one pin. Excuse the Chindits while they get rid of the pin before they move up and shoot the piss out of you. Oh.
Also, every time you move, you have to say crikey.
Crikey, mate!
Crikey! See, what you do is you get your M1 Garand and shove it right up his bamhole.
Just to piss it
Oh,
off.
he's really pissed off now.
No, it's South African today, you know it.
Oh shit, sorry. Fucking prawns.
These fucking Japs, yeah.
Oh.
I feel a little bit better if we went back to Garland because it's a little bit less racist, precious. It's better on the ear.
Shut up, you spineless prick.
Right, so, guys, we said that everyone was getting a prize when they were coming to our tournament. I've gone above and beyond to get you for this tournament. We've actually got 16 named sponsors, and friend of the cast has donated some vehicles to us as well. So we're just gonna shout them out. I think when we've totaled it all up, I think from Warlord Games alone, there's like £200 prize support. We've got a game mat to give away. We've got a whole bunch of shit. So please check these sponsors out because without them, we wouldn't be able to offer you what we're going to be offering. So list of sponsors is above. Great Escape Games, Westwind Miniatures, Forged in Battle, Dice of War, Warlord Games, Gamergrass, GameMat.eu, Deep Cut Studios, Stoessi's Heroes, KO Dice Bags, Go to Ground Gaming, RedDog.uk, Army Painter, Ministry of Buildings, Boontown Metals, and also friend of the cast who's donated 4 or 5 Italian vehicles, Andrew Ellaby as well. So big shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to offer you. Without those guys, sorry, we wouldn't be able to offer you any prizes. So thanks very much.
And get on, have a look at the stuff on their websites. It's a lot of their stuff is very good, and without all these companies doing different things, we don't get a variety of army lists and a variety of models to actually play with.
Yeah, and some of these as well, they have given us little flyers that will be handing out to you guys in your prize support packs with discount codes and stuff on that are put in for the event especially. And if you do visit any of these companies, just let them know that you came because you heard about them via the Juggernaut podcast or the Not One Step Back event, just to let them know that their price support is valued and it does go a long way to helping their business grow. So thanks very much.
Finally, I'd like to think we make a point that we will only recommend companies that we feel comfortable in recommending. The last thing we want to do is be dishonest or give people a bad deal, which is why in the past when I've recommended companies that have turned out to be a little bit less than stellar, I've rescinded and said no, that's not. So if we're recommending these guys,
we have
take our word for it and have a go.
We have had a couple that promised us prize support and never sent it, which is why we haven't even mentioned it. We've only mentioned that have committed to us and delivered things to us, and between us as a gaming group, we have used pretty much every single one of these suppliers to fund to fuel our addiction to this hobby. So we wouldn't be asking them for price support if we didn't already like what they were doing. So big shout out to them.
I'll also put the links up on the Facebook page at some point.
Yeah,
Just for
we'll
those who aren't
redo
coming to
all the
event, you
links.
can,
Yeah,
for
we'll
those who aren't
redo all
coming,
the
you can have a look.
links.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Right, can I make like a tree and leave?
you can.
Can I go back to my roots? Can I branch out?
Oh, just shut the fuck up.
Is that your okay to do that?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey Dan, fuck you.
See you later, everybody.
Thank you, Barty.
Can't wait to see you at the event. You fucking prawns.